See me without the live button. What is going on, guys? Whoop, whoop. There it is. No, not to buy me a coffee. Jump over here. Who made me look like a stud? Who did this? I'm not saying good morning to anybody. Who made me look like a stud from Brooklyn, New York? Who did this? Huh? Who made me look like I call myself Tyrone, but my name's really Tyra? Who did this? Who did that to me? Huh? Which one of you? I said I wanted a battle button. I didn't ask for all this. I didn't ask for a braid up. I didn't ask for a braid up like this. Who in their right minds did this to me? Huh? Who's gonna fess up? Anyways, guys. Making me look like a stud like this. How dare you? You know? Why would you do this? I just said I wanted a battle bun. I said I needed a hat with a battle bun, and you took it to this extent. Why would you do this? Huh? Like I drive a Subaru, you know? And I walk up to other women. I'm a woman myself. I walk up to other women. I say, "Go, girl, what's going on with you? Yeah, looking real nice. Can I get a little twirl?" Wow. Like I do that. Who did this? How dare you? How dare you? I guess I'll say good morning to everybody. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Let's jump into it. I saw this one. This one made me laugh way too much. Stop calling me Dom. How dare you? How dare you? Stop calling me Dom. You know? This is not Dom. Coach Dom. Coach Dom. Breaking. Just made my first $1 billion from saying the word breaking. Have 4 monthly contracts with the DOD and the federal government. They pay me $18 million a month to say breaking. Have meetings every morning with Graham Allen and Gary. You know? Anyway. I'm joking. Tyra from the block. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, guys, let's jump right into it. You guys saw the Candace Owens episode. I actually just watched it fresh. Someone said I need to text Ian Carroll. Why do I need to text Ian Carroll? Why did somebody just say that? Who are you? Willie? Willie, channel activity on Willie. Willie. Why are you saying that, Willie? Let me see here. What's going on, Willie? Willie, you just said I need to... Where's Ian Carroll at? Why are you saying I need to text him? What's going on? What do you mean? What happened to him? Did something happen? You can't just say that and then leave me hanging like that, man. We're having fun talking about studs here. He's on X. Ian is fine. All right, he's fine. I'll check in. I will check in, okay? Rest assured, I will make sure to check in, okay? And I won't do it as this character here. I'll do it as myself, all right? Anyways, guys, what's going on? You all saw the Candace Owens episode. I watched it fresh this morning, double speed, going through it. And yes, I will be reading the Buy Me a Coffees. That will be what I will be reading instead of super chats because there are none. But yeah, I watched it fresh. I mixed it in with some Baron Coleman that I'm going to be showing you guys. Then we're going to move on to Tucker because Tucker has released not even a monologue. This is just a full, actually, yeah, it was a monologue. It was like a 40-minute monologue. And then he goes into an interview. I love this format with Tucker. I think it's the best possible thing. Get that off the screen. I think that's the best possible thing he can do. I love it so much. It's so influential, what he speaks about, how he speaks about it. The things he's willing to talk about. He talks about America's actual religion, okay? He talks about Trump and the imagery Trump's been putting forward. He makes a wild accusation towards Trump. Very wild accusation. An accusation that I've seen people, even in my comment section, make many, many times. And back before I got hoodwinked, okay? When I was in the process of getting hoodwinked, I would always battle back against this accusation. I thought it was so weird. It was so ridiculous. There's no proof to it. But now starting to rethink it. Not saying I'm on board, but I'm starting to rethink it. And of course, Erika Kirk, her whole dropping out of that event, no one's buying it. Candace certainly wasn't buying it. Candace got pissed. And here's the thing. This is why the battle button makes so much sense, right? The battle button makes sense because when Candace is pissed, right, and she's doing a podcast, the hair starts going everywhere. At one point, the hair is here. It's going up a little bit. That's why the battle button is necessary, because when she's pissed, the hair will start moving around and getting all flaily. That's why I didn't realize, it's a natural thing that happens, I guess. Somebody, whoever styles her, probably knew this. And when she would get mad or she seemed ticked off, they'd be like, I'm just going to pull it. But you want to just do a simple bun? She'd be like, yeah, whatever. Just do it. That's what happened. I didn't realize. So we're going to be touching on a bunch of stuff when it comes to Candace Owens and this episode, which I loved. Baron Coleman as well. So Candace just showing the fake footage. Erika can't move tickets. Candace makes a great call on the threat not being real. Allegedly, I will say. But Candace makes a great point. And Baron talks about having a conversation with somebody about what Turning Point intends to do with podcasters they don't like. It's very weird. Not what Baron was saying, but even just the notion that you can do things with podcasters you don't like. It's one thing, Project Constitution, he knows he messed up with one thing and he's made sure to correct himself, and he moves differently now. He's still head on against Turning Point. He doesn't like Turning Point at all, but he does correct himself where need be, and et cetera, et cetera. But to act like you can see a bunch of podcasters who clearly don't believe in you and your movement anymore and be like, well, we're going to do things with them. It's showing that they are part of this elite thing. Charlie made it feel like there was a super grassroots type of thing because he would often be in fields and courtyards with the students talking, and it never, no matter how big and how powerful he was, imagine how powerful he was the day of UVU, it still seemed grassroots because he would show up and there would be security, et cetera, but he would still sit down. It was still the same format. Let's talk about this whole thing. And now that he's gone, it just has, again, I've called it before. It's like this GOP extension. That's all it is now. It's just Fox News in a different way. That's it. They're just Fox News, but they throw events too. That's it. It sucks, man. They're just an extension of the administration. It's garbage. Anyway, let's get into Candace's first clip, and then we will start to go. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see Baron get mixed in there. There's going to be some Andrew. I'm putting it all together right now. Anyway, let's go. Is this double speed? If it's double speed, it's not. I'm getting better at this, guys.
Take a look at this tweet and the accompanying video of the auditorium. He wrote, Turning Point USA seems to have misestimated crowd size for Vance. The Aikens Ford Arena less than 25% filled for the vice president. Now, he's assuming it's because of Vance, right? That people are not showing. Could be another reason. A person who was supposed to be there until the umpteenth hour, people could be turning down that particular opportunity. And I'm sure everything Vance and Trump are doing at this current moment isn't helping much either. In fact, it was so bad, right? The turnout was so bad that if we go back and re-watch that Fox News clip, they're actually showing you fake footage. Well, it's not fake footage, it's real footage, but it's fake B-roll because it's from old Turning Point events. This is how sloppy the Hasbro is. We'll show you this. We'll scroll here. Not the venue. Not the venue. And yet in the corner, it says Andrew Colvett via X on Tuesday because it says Athens, Georgia. This is not true. This is true propaganda. And we took a closer look at it, and they actually spliced together 3 separate events so that they could show something of substance when Andrew spoke. That is humiliating. That is humiliating. And he's there pitching a story, a sad story about why they couldn't do it because it's your guys' fault. You didn't keep Erika safe. Now, I am told by Turning Point USA college students and volunteers that this has been a repeat problem, that they similarly had a very hard time moving tickets for her event in Washington, D.C. with Caroline Levitt. They just could not hit capacity. They never did, despite effectively turning these events. They're not, I don't even know why it's called a college tour anymore. It's just anybody in the public, general admission, that is willing to come listen to Erika Kirk speak for free, please come. They're going to eventually start paying people to attend these events, and they cannot sell out to even a small auditorium. And yet,
I'm telling you guys, this is Kamala Harris. This is exactly what happened with Kamala. It was the exact same thing. The exact same thing took place. Now, if you don't believe Candace when she's talking about this footage that's real but also fake, you have to hear what Andrew was saying, but then also you have to see what happened to Gary. Oh, Gary. Gosh. Oh, gosh, Gary. Oh, no, Gary. You get community noted and you get Daisy coming after you. Oh, gosh, Gary. No, Gary. Oh, goodness. So right away, Daisy chimes in. Daisy's becoming a force on X. Baron and Daisy are not playing around on X. Is Andrew Colvette going rogue again? This morning on the Charlie Kirk show, timestamp 1040. Damn, that's Daisy. Because she's a researcher, so she throws the timestamp in there. You told us the seats were empty because the lefty lunatics reserved them all. Someone's lying. And it looks like the call is coming from inside the house. Oh my gosh. Then you click through
some
here.
of the
You click through here.
latest rumors about the UGA event that I was actually at. Candace, of course, was not. First and foremost, there's some missing context here. Candace is trying to frame this as Turning Point could not sell enough tickets. Turning Point wasn't selling tickets. This was a completely free event. And where else would an organization be giving out connections to the Vice President of the United States entirely for free because they care about the youth being involved in politics? I just think that Candace trying to detract from that is disgusting to begin with. Moving on from there, another thing that of course Candace did not include or know about is that not the entire arena was available for the public to sit in. There were only specific areas that were being handed out, and that was done for security purposes as this event was heavily threatened. There were protesters all over, including one who was able to get inside. There was also one who was able to get inside back in DC, and I could tell you as somebody who was also at that one, the pure look of horror on Erika's face when a random man stood up and started screaming belligerently. Nobody knew who this man was. Nobody knew what he was doing. Nobody knew if he was dangerous. It was absolutely terrible.
She's talking about the guy that asked the question that Caroline and Erika weren't ready for. Now, you can expect to see this girl on Gary's podcast soon enough. I'm calling that right now. That's why I just wanted to click through on that. But the fact that it was a free event doesn't help the case that girl is putting forth right now. Now, did Andrew actually go rogue, and is he actually saying that type of thing? Here, check it out.
So we had over 2,000 people there, massive energy, great enthusiasm from the attendees. But and this happens, the left-wing groups swarm the ticketing and they try and book up all the tickets and then they don't show. And that's one of their forms of protest. Normally we're pretty good at sniffing it out, but they use some new means and activities. And so we're working with our ticketing systems to adjust for that moving forward. But yeah, it was a eventful night. So we had over 2,000 people there.
There you go. There you go. The lefties reserved them all. That's what happened. And you couldn't be in the entire, like that girl said, you couldn't be in the entire venue, right? It was only certain places you could be, you know? Like right there. Like right there, just right atop there. Or right up here. You're allowed to be right up there by yourself, possibly with a Mauser down your pants. That's weird. You'd think they'd be like, you, sir, you have to come down here with everybody else. No. See, oh, look at that. Just one guy right there. That's dangerous. That's a little dangerous, right? The reason that they were making people sit in certain places is because when you don't have enough people, you can't have everybody sparse up this entire room. You need people to fill in here. That's what you need. You need that more than ever. You need everybody to fill this space. You need everybody to fill that space. You need everybody to fill this space. You can't just have people just sitting wherever they want. when you don't have enough people. I've seen it happen 100 times in comedy shows. They say, okay, get all these people in. Yeah. You want to be in the front row? Hey. Start pulling people around. That's what happens when you don't sell enough, right? Now, what's really interesting about this, I'm just going to play this really quick because she's saying it was like fake footage. It turns out it actually was. I have a little bit of a theory on why. Here. Okay, that's just a song. That's just a song. Here. Look at this one. I think I talked about this yesterday, maybe.
A little bit. It doesn't bother me when he speaks on issues today. Frankly, even when I disagree with how he's applying particular principles. So the most obvious example is a little bit.
You have to understand, that's JD Vance's voice. That's them talking. So people keep saying, well, the only reason it looks like this is because they shot it, before everybody got there. That's all that happened. Look at this. But you can hear JD talking. You think JD started talking and doing stuff before everybody got there? You think they brought JD Vance, the vice president, out there before they were ready? Well, I mean, Candace already showed this whole thing. Gary, poor Gary. I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me yet. Friend of the show for not blocking me, Gary. Descendant of a Kandahar giant. I don't know if you've heard that rumor. It's a rumor that I've coined myself. Descendant of a Kandahar giant. Everybody knows it. Spread the word. The Candace cult even lies about crowd sizes. They just lie. Then they lie. And then lie some more. Look at the UGA event packed out. Check this out.
Oh, real quick, I want to point this out, folks. I want everybody to look at that crowd. I just saw some pictures on X today that showed clearly before and they do this all the time. I don't care if it's a Trump rally, TPUSA rally, Charlie Kirk rally, Erika Kirk rally. They do this all the time. They take pictures and video prior to the rally and like, oh, look, nobody's here. And when there's like 40 people in there at the beginning. Look at that rally at UGA, which is Athens is, trust me, I know, is a very leftist area. So anyways, I just want to point that out, that anybody telling you that there was nobody there, they are lying.
And to see the security team, tell us we cannot.
Oh, real quick, I want to point this out, folks. I want everybody to look at that crowd. I just
take a look at that crowd. That's Gary. That's Gary doing his podcast thing. Okay. Hopefully he didn't pull up any text messages from Andrew being like, I need you to say that the venue was full. There is a segment on Fox where you will see venue full. Hopefully Gary didn't pull that up while he was live. I hope that didn't happen, okay? He's on like his second strike when it comes to Mr. Wachuka. Mr. Wachuka's pissed off at Gary. He's been pissed off at Gary for a long time. This might be the third strike because the next thing you know, the next thing you know is Daisy steps in. And I'm like, this isn't even fair. Daisy shouldn't even be doing this, quite honestly. Quite honestly. Baron's talked about like 20 man hours for a show, and Daisy's out here doing side quests. Are you kidding me right now? She says, Gary, this is embarrassing even for you. The video you're trying to gaslight everyone with is from October 7th, 2025 at Montana State, straight from Andrew's page. Even puts the link out. Daisy, this is nuts. This is nuts that you're doing this. The least you could try, least you try to convince the least you try to convince us that it was actually the other clip they used on Fox. That was from October 9th in North Dakota. Another link. Oh my gosh. Daisy did research just to own Gary. You don't even have to do research to own Gary. You don't even have to do that. And she did that. I said it before. I said it like a week ago. Gary versus Daisy's a bloodbath every time. And this is just what we're seeing here. I know research isn't your thing, but do better. It's okay to ask for help. Oh, and then she offers help at the end, and then the community note comes in. Oh, God. Good Lord. The video shows Fox News footage from prior Turning Point events, including Glenn Beck's speech on October 9th, not the 15th of April UGA Vance rally, where the arena was less than 25% full. Good God. Someone check on Gary, guys. Anybody, if you're one of the people that follows Gary, please just send him heart emojis. right? Just send him heart emojis, send him well wishes. Did Gary say anything back? I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Oh, man. Gary. No, Gary didn't say anything back. Dang. Oh, gosh. Look, people are doing the Michael Scott laugh at Gary. Oh, goodness. How could you? Baron, talk to this lady. Come on. This is out of control. You don't do this type of thing to Gary. He's already in it deep with Mr. Wachuka, and you do this to him? My goodness. Anyway, people are saying he's deep into the payroll. I don't know if that's true. But who gave you those images? Who made you say, hey, this is what's going on here? Why would you think that? I know we all just go, oh, well, he's dumb. That's why. But it's like, come on. He can't be that dumb. It gets to a point where it's intentional. Look, and you can even see, she even shows the footage. And it's from October. Oh, Daisy. Why would you do this? And that's why they made sure the footage was muted, because then they'd have the same mute. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Oh, look at that. Was that a friend of the show? Look at that friend of the show. It's Mr. Mintz himself. I'm just looking over this whole crowd. I don't see a whole lot of mints going on. Chrissy? Chris, can someone find me Chrissy? I need a mint the shape of a detonator. And my friend Rick here needs a mint the shape of a palm gun. Does anybody have a mint the shape of a palm gun? We're planning something out. We're planning out something. Oh, gosh. So that's that one. And then Daisy throws another one out there to show where the footage is actually from. And that's where the footage is actually from. Oh, God. Oh, no. Well, sorry, Gary. So that was just my long way of saying Candace was actually right. It was fake footage. Oh, I'm so sorry, Gary. This is really not your thing, Gary. I mean, ballistic videos do well. Like, why don't you just go back to the ballistic videos? You know? He could still do it. It's his thing. Just be like, hey, just tell stories about being a Green Beret. I would watch that. Just be like, hey, I was in Afghanistan and this is what happened. Just do 20-minute videos like that. You'll be fine. You don't have to do this. This is crazy, Gary. You've served your country already. You don't have to do this. Look at that. The guy serves his country and then the admin just hangs him out to dry. They're like, you're going to be our public moron, Gary. And Gary's like, sir, yes, sir. As descendant of a Kandahar giant, it would be my honor. You understand what happened in the story of Kandahar giants, just in case nobody understands. The story of Kandahar giants, they found a giant and they took that giant down in Kandahar. It was in Afghanistan. It was wild. And after they took that giant down, there was a baby giant. This baby giant was like 4 feet tall. It was a little baby. And it was Gary. And they took that giant and they brought that giant back to America. And they trained him exclusively. Green Beret, all sorts of different stuff. Taught him how to walk, taught him how to talk. And that baby became the Gary that we know today. In fact, Gary right now is about 6'1", and he's only like 11 years old. A lot of people don't know that. So he looks like a grown man, but that's how giants are. It's a rumor. It's one that I've started, but I don't see why we can't just let it fester, you know? Anyway, friend of the show, Gary, but you're 100% wrong. Nice try, though. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yesterday, it looks like, was the worst audience turnout in Turning Point's history. Okay, let me repeat that. Under Erika Kirk's stewardship, Turning Point USA is now facing a crisis. It is the worst turnout in the organization's history, even with a feature alongside the Vice President of the United States. Similarly, they had to move the Believers Summit, something that they advertised for last year. It was slated to take place back in October, but they could not move any free tickets. Erika knew that she was not coming long before Andrew Colbert made the announcement on stage. Yet, she did not make a statement herself until after the event began. What gives? Here's what she wrote on X. She retweeted a clip from the event, and she wrote this. I was so looking forward to tonight's event at the University of Georgia with our vice president, but after all our family has been through, I take my security team's recommendations extremely seriously. Thank you to our amazing Georgia chapter for your support. God bless you all. I can't stand the lying, the constant lying, and she is not being honest. Okay, she moves things off of her calendar. She will make it work. White House here over the weekend. She was at Bettina at Mar-a-Lago, the one who's marrying Don Trump Jr. She was at her bridal shower. Erika will be wherever it is that she needs to be. That is not the reason that she chose not to show up. And how do we know that this was not some last minute cancellation related to a threat? Well, first off, common sense. I knew they were lying as soon as Andrew announced it on stage. Take it from someone who has endured a great many threats. The last thing you do is announce a threat on stage when one is happening. In fact, I have dealt with threats at Turning Point USA events where we have had to inform them, this guy who was completely insane and escaped a mental institution, or he was a mental hold, and they didn't know where he was. They alerted us, and I was doing an event in Nashville with Charlie, and we had to alert the security team. Nobody goes out and says, hey, Candace has a threat. That's why she's not here. And you know what? Would you like to, JD, let me give you the stage to blame everybody for her having this threat? That is so performative and outlandish that I instantly knew that it didn't pass the sniff test. But another way that we can confirm that we know this is not real and they're making this up is because Erika was also slated to speak yesterday at 1:30 p.m. in Georgia at a local high school. But she canceled that event, and she didn't cancel it last second. She canceled it.
That point, like, she just grazed over that a lot, but she makes an incredible point. I was talking about this yesterday. I'm sorry for the little overlap as she's reading that tweet. I know we read it yesterday, but still. I mean, incredible point. Why would they announce it? Like, that's what happens with the president. His first term, there were so many different things that happened to him. So many different threats, different levels. And you didn't really hear about them all. You saw one where they made him duck down and something happened. You know, I forget what it was, but he was on stage. Something happened, right? You saw that, but you know, they couldn't avoid you seeing it because it was on camera. It was at an event, so fine. But there's so many that they don't talk about. Every president, they don't talk about it. Charlie Kirk himself would talk about threats, and he wouldn't actually display them. Steven Crowder even said he felt guilty for not talking about how many threats would come because they don't make a big deal of it. They just say this event is canceled. That's it. That's what they do. And that's what makes the most sense. You don't keep the event going with JD Vance. You don't keep the event going with JD. That doesn't make any sense. You stop the whole event. Just such a good point. I don't know. That did not come up at all in my mind when before. I just didn't come up. Didn't come up at all. It was really weird. Really, really weird. So that for me kind of solidifies it. That for me is like, oh, okay, so this is like not real. There's no way it's real, right? There's just no way. I don't know. That's just me. So as we keep going here, got a few more Candace, then it's going to blend into Baron as well as we talk about certain things. Already played this for you. Make sure to play this one. Touch of like 10 seconds of overlap here because I let that clip run a little long. Listen to this.
It's not real and making this up. It's because Erika's also
Of course, I was listening to it at double speed. Of course I was.
so slated to speak yesterday at 1:30 p.m. in Georgia at a local high school. But she canceled that event, and she didn't cancel it last second. She canceled it the day before on Monday. Okay? So Tuesday, yesterday, she has a 1:30 event, and then she has an evening event with JD Vance. But on Monday at noon, she had already informed the high school that she was not going to be in attendance a full day before her last minute on-stage cancellation of her event with JD that the students did not even know about. So she honored the high school students with information, but did not honor the college students with any information, making them look like fools outside, okay? And how did they do it? They emailed and they texted and informed the parents at school that her appearance had been canceled, and they gave a reason, and that reason was not security. Let's read it together. Here is the text that went out canceling the high school event. It reads, first, you can see they set this event up on March 30th. On Monday, you can see that it reads, parent alert, due to scheduling complications, the optional Turning Point USA high school event scheduled for tomorrow, September 14th, has been canceled. We are sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused and are hopeful for other Turning Point USA opportunities in the future. Okay? A scheduling conflict. A scheduling conflict, not a threat, but a scheduling conflict. Now, if there were a viable threat, wouldn't it have been prudent to inform the administration of a high school? Even if it was an airplane-related threat that, oh, it must be, if it's so serious, like someone's going to harm her, you tell the high school, hey, we have a very viable threat right now. We don't want to bring this to you. They were not informed that. They were just told it was a scheduling issue and there was not some significant thing that was pending in the background, which caused her to abandon her previous God's got me philosophy. So, like I said, don't you think her staff would have let the high schoolers know if there was a threat? That would have been the responsible thing to do. I am told the truth is, again, that there was immediate parental backlash already that kept happening because she was announced. And they basically said, okay, this is an optional event. It then ended up that there was going to be abysmal attendance, meaning nothing that they could record on social media to make it look like she's, got the crowd going crazy. And so it was nothing for her to look forward to. And so she skipped it.
I think it's more than just that. I think it's also the fact that, they already lost one chapter. And if she keeps on doing this type of thing, they're probably at risk of losing more chapters. And it doesn't matter how crazy an event seems, how packed or how booming the event seems. If they lose chapters, they're losing Turning Point. That was one of the main things that Charlie wanted. He wanted there to be chapters so these kids could do what he was doing and have the conversations he was willing to have. So right away, if there's any kind of backlash, there is a potential you lose that chapter. And then also, if she speaks, that the percentage, the odds of losing that chapter go up considerably because she's not a good speaker. She's not really a good speaker. It's like a theater type of thing, When Charlie would talk, he would just talk, and he was wise, and he was a great speaker, and that was it. Charlie didn't need to go like, and then I was saying. He didn't need to do all that playing with the eyes and doing all that really theatrical stuff. He would just speak, and people got it. Like Candace. Candace doesn't do the whole like, and then I told them. Like they don't need to do that type of stuff because they're actually really good speakers. I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't know all this either. I've never heard of all this, that the fact that the parents are pushing back. That's not my fault. We're going to get into the Baron part, and the Candace part. It's not my fault. If somebody's looking to blame me, you're out of your mind, okay? You're crazy. You're crazy. You can't blame me. Blame Romania. Blame that whole setup. I didn't do that. I didn't force anybody to go to Romania. That's crazy. Are you nuts? I didn't force anybody to be adjacent to a bunch of weird people. I used to have really seedy friends, and I disengaged from all of them when I changed. You didn't do that. I don't know. You keep hugging up with guys that are like, oh, can I have 50,000? Can I have 50,000 rifles, please? What? Guys that are just like, yeah, well, the thing is, the court case said I did this, but I didn't actually do it. I didn't make you hang around those people. That's not me. I didn't make you do that. That's on you. That's on you. I didn't tell you to hang out with those weirdos. I didn't tell you to hang out with black-eyed Victor Marks. I didn't tell you to do that. You saw the podcast. Guy said he killed a bunch of people. What was he said it himself. He said he did it when he was a kid. What are we talking about? Listen, be friends with who you want, but somebody tells you, hey, man, I've been electrocuted. So to keep my eyes open. Listen, wish them well, but you don't have to hang out with that person. I didn't do that. And I'm hearing that they're going to blame me and other podcasters? That's crazy. I didn't do that. This is not my fault. Okay? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going here.
The reason why I am now laying this out today is because what enrages me so much about the messaging, the setup there by Andrew Colvett, is that it is akin to narcissistic abuse. They can never admit that they have failed or that they have done anything wrong. So what do? They tell the public that it's our fault. It's your fault. If this wouldn't happen if you guys would just stop criticizing her. That's completely psychopathic. We don't accept that. We reject that. Okay, no one does this. People cancel events last minute for a variety of reasons. He got drunk last night. He's hungover. Their PR comes out, makes an excuse. He had a mental breakdown backstage. We've seen a lot, especially in the land of rock and roll. Oh, I lost my throat. I lost my voice. I won't be able to sing tonight. Probably was partying. I want you to actually go through your mind of all the famous people that you know who have canceled events last minute. When do you ever recall management coming out with messaging that implies that actually it's your fault? It's the public's fault. You didn't keep this person safe. They couldn't come out tonight because you failed this person. Well, that's exactly what the messaging was, and you should be infuriated about it. It is ridiculous. They are now paying influencers. Oh, if only everyone would just leave her alone. No one would track her plane. What? Do you not think people are tracking JD Vance's plane? Elon Musk took his notoriously off of something. Taylor Swift. People get their planes tracked all the time. By the way, there's no remedy for that situation. What's the future remedy? We're just not going to announce when we're just going to pop up and surprise people. The messaging was crappy. I am so sick of there never being an adult in the room that will just come out and say, as a leader would, you know what? Ticket attendance wasn't great. We want to remedy that in the future. We want to figure out what we can do, changes we can make so that we can establish Erika as the new leader of Turning Point USA. You know, they're still getting to know her. That's responsible messaging. But these guys, it's your fault. And shame on JD Vance for taking the bait on that.
It's crazy. That little impression she did just like a couple minutes back. Oh, if they'd only just leave her alone. That's disrespectful. I know about disrespectful impressions. That's that's one of those impressions where if somebody was talking to you and you're like, and then you said, oh, you'd be like, what the man? I don't even sound like that, man. Why are you doing that? That was a very disrespectful impression. Someone said Baron played a clip of me last night. Let me know when. I didn't get through the whole podcast. I had to listen to Candace. We had the baby going on, and man, I just love laying around with the baby and the kid. I love being able to sit. We have a massive couch. I love being able to sit on the massive couch and just look at my family. And there's a baby there, and then the kid's losing her mind, throwing things around, and my wife's sitting there, and she's like, she's like half asleep. I love it. I love it. So I didn't get my work done last night like I usually do because I'm just like bathing in family, bathing in it, you know? Some people get dipped in baby oil. Some people get dipped in family. That's where I'm at with it, you know? But yeah, let me know. Let me know a timestamp of where Baron was at. If you're on X, hopefully the person on X, just shoot me a message, you know, just tag me and just say a timestamp and I will definitely play that. I would love to see what Baron had to say. Hopefully he had good things to say. I don't know. You know, could you imagine how mortifying it'd be? Just Daisy and Baron just tearing me apart. You know what I mean? I would be, I don't know what I would do. But let me know. Let me know. Yeah. So the fact, this is exactly what I was talking about before I started this clip. The messaging is all these people who are criticizing her. And on top of that, I don't know who you were. But you said in the super chats, I think it was, I'm pretty sure, maybe it was one of the Buy Me a Coffees, but I know that someone said maybe they're setting up for something by acting like there was threats. Now, I don't know if that's true, right? But somebody did suggest that in the super chats. And I was like, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But now it seems like with what Candace is saying, what Baron's saying, I don't know if he expanded on this conversation. Please, someone let me know if he did expand on this conversation where he talks about like what would be done with podcasters. He said he had a long conversation at the beginning of the podcast, longer than usual, 1.5 conversations that he doesn't usually get to have. But yeah, I would love to know what that's all about. I don't know, man. It's the person said, I think what is happening is they're saying that there are threats to set up for something bigger. Now, I think this person was moving towards a lawsuit with Candace and trying to blame Candace, like, hey, this is the damage that you're causing with your podcast. And I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. But now as like we're going through things a little more, it's like, it's kind of ramping up, because that was the messaging. Like Candace said, the messaging was, look what you guys have done. Look what these people have done. Because then JD Vance, I played it for you guys yesterday. JD Vance goes on this rant of like these people who are, you know, if you're going after a widow and et cetera, like how could you? And I know she was grieving. And it's like, okay, like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. People make videos about people all the time. It happens all the time. You make videos, you talk about a person. I say allegedly. I even say maybe. I even say perhaps. And now Baron's taught me to say, in my opinion. How much more do you want? You want silence. That's what you want. You want straight up silence. That's what you're looking for. I don't know if we can give you straight up silence. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, you know, especially on shows where we talk. It's going to be hard, you know? Anyway, yes, super, yes. Somebody actually just said that. Yeah. Thank you. What is this? Naughty thing? Yes, the super chats are disabled. We are on Buy Me a Coffee. Where's my pinned post? I pinned it. Oh my gosh, it went away. I don't know why it went away. That's ridiculous. Sorry about that, guys. Replace pinned post. Oh, it's still there. I'll replace it, whatever. Because I can't see it right now. There you go, guys. So yeah, very interesting that we're being blamed. But we're going to get deeper into that with Mr. Baron Coleman. Oh my God, he's doing that hand symbol. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How dare you? How dare you? I'm about to order. I think I'm about to get a bunch of shirts from Baron. I'm about to get a bunch, like a whole whack of shirts I'm going to get, you know, I told him I'd get like 10. I wasn't kidding around. I don't play around. I don't play around about black hoodies. You understand? I can't find the clip. Somebody tell me where the clip is of him talking about me. I love to hear people talk about me. Anyway, let's play this clip by Baron expanding on who's to blame with what happened with Erika. I think it's her to blame. I think it's her and Turning Point to blame with her having to cancel these events. I don't think it has anything to do with us.
Extended conversation with someone. And it's centered around the plans TPUSA is discussing going forward. And during this conversation, the issue of podcasters arose. The issue of podcasters arose. What are they going to do with the podcasters who are causing them heartache? You could say they're causing heartache because we're covering the news. We're pointing out the obvious. You know, politics is a blood sport. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're going to get involved in politics, you have to be willing to understand that. You have to be willing to have people say ugly things about you, say mean things about you. You have to be willing to have people, you know, I've had some of the most horrific things said about me. Fine, whatever. I've never filed a lawsuit against anybody for saying anything. I've had people say things that just aren't true. Other podcasters here in the last few months say many things that just aren't true about me, but whatever, you know, they have a freedom of speech. I don't really care. I'll address it. I'll bark back a little bit and say, hey, that's not how it happened. Here's what happened. But it doesn't sound to me like everyone shares that live and let live philosophy. May the best idea win. That there may be an attempt, a plan to try to silence people. And to that, I'll say this. I mentioned a little bit about that last week when I was talking about the Caleb Robinson inclusion on the board of the whatever that Christian Legal Defense Fund is or whatever it is. That I heard they're going to try to sue Candace Owens and use the might of that organization to try to pull it off. Here's my philosophy. I want to be right. And what I mean by that is not, I want what I say to be a reflection of reality. I want to bend reality to what I say. That's not it. It's that when I say something, when I get on the air and I start talking, I want you guys to walk away with really one feeling in your head. That Baron Coleman, he believed what he said. And if he didn't believe what he said, he'd come out and correct it. If he felt like he got a fact wrong, he'd come out and correct it. There is a difference. As a lawyer, I know this. There's a difference between facts and opinion. Facts are things I throw up on the screen. So and I use the screen probably more than any other podcaster that I watch. I use the screen a lot. I pull a lot of stuff up. And the reason is because I'm used to operating in legal circumstances where what the lawyer says is really irrelevant. It's what does the document say? It's what does the witness say? And so I like to bring the witnesses and documents to you and let you look at them. I'm not going to tell you someone filed a nonprofit in Texas in 2020. I'm going to pull up the documentation and let you look at it. And I think it's important because that way you know that what I'm saying is true.
Now, the main thing, and that's very noble of him, he does keep that energy throughout the entirety of what I've seen from him. Look at where we're at here. Look at this. Look at this. It's episode 98. This guy has done a lot in 90, almost at episode 100. Hope you do something special. A little special, maybe a little opening statement towards 100 of these things. Done a lot in 100 episodes. That's amazing. But yeah, he's kept that energy definitely. But you know, what's gonna happen? I'm not even that worried because I'm a comedian, and you know, a lot of these things are jokes. They're clearly jokes, but I don't care about that part. It's very odd. Like I said at the beginning, you know, they're operating less like, not even like a business, or maybe you could say like a cold-hearted business, but they're operating like they are the federal government, you know? Like Baron's talking about, and I don't know who he had this conversation with, and I don't know if he expands on it throughout this episode, but, you know, you want to silence people. You want to silence people who are making videos about you, you know? Whether it's Christine, I think it's Christina Fikita or Tafiki, who I actually asked to be on the show tomorrow. Hopefully she says yes. I don't know. I'm trying to get a bunch of people to just come on the show. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm a little scattered. I don't have a lot of help with organization in that way. But yeah, whether it's that person, whether it's Fredo Daly, whether it's Lionel, whether it's Baron, whether it's me, whether it's Candace, you know, whether it's Sam Parker, whether it's Sword Truth, Project Constitution, all the people who talk about this very openly and a lot, you know, you're just going to try and silence everybody. Like, again, it's one of those things where it's like, do you understand what that's going to look like? If you even attempt it, do you understand what that's going to look like? It's going to look crazy. It's going to look absolutely crazy. And a lot of us aren't going to back down. And a lot of us are just audience. You know, obviously, there's still monetization, but a lot of us are engaged with our audience in a very big way, you know? And I know not all you guys will support me no matter what, but there are a bunch who will, right? A bunch. Same with Baron. Same with Candace, you know? Trigger Smart. Trigger Smart should come on the show. Seems the U.S. government and the president combined TPUSA into a fold as a gov organization. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It's exactly what I was saying. It's as if they've become an extension. The same way that back before Elon bought X, and there was a previous administration in place, and Elon showed us through the Twitter files that there was a deep connection between the executives of Twitter and the people managing accounts and whatnot, between them and the Bureau, to the point where the Bureau had a portal where they could just say, hey, we need this to happen, we need this to happen, and we need this to happen. And then the Twitter execs would be like, no problem, and then cancel a bunch of people's accounts. It's the same type of thing going on. It's the same type of thing where you would be like, what was her name? Like, the press secretary, black chick, curly hair. What was her name? Mean Jean Karine. That's what I used to call her all the time because I couldn't remember her name. But she would be like, well, that Biden, he's sharp as a tack. I saw him do physics while he was standing on his head. He was doing a handstand while doing physics. It was remarkable. Elon Musk asked him if he could run X for him or run Tesla for him. And then all of a sudden, you saw Joe Scarborough, and he was like, he's sharp as a tack. And then Mika's like, he's sharp as a tack. And then Rachel Maddow was like, he's sharp as a tack. And then Joy Reid was like, sharp as a tack. And then Chris Cuomo was like, I've heard he's pretty sharp. It's the exact same type of thing. That's what they've become. You know, I was just making this point when I was talking about playing that Tim Pool clip yesterday and showing how they now mirror the mainstream media with how they even talk with each other. It's the same thing. It's gross. It's really gross. Let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. Because Candace lays into JD here. Even look at her. She's pissed. Just angry already.
Complicated.
And so there's another angle of this, Andrew, which is just so absurd, which is that, people will say that, Erika, she's been doing this or she's been doing that, and I would be doing something different. And it's like, first of all, that's fine. Like, if you want to criticize somebody because you have a disagreement, disagree with my politics, disagree with something that Erika or Andrew say on the Turning Point podcast.
We do.
But this desire to go after her for the way she's grieving her husband, that's the most preposterous thing I've seen in a very long time. And I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in politics.
Okay. First off, we do criticize them all the time for what they say on the podcast. The whole public has been doing that actually since everything happened. Please stop saying this repeat phrase that everyone grieves differently. It doesn't matter how many times you say it, it doesn't make it true. Okay. You can't just say stuff. Everybody grieves differently. Yeah, no, for sure. Everyone that I know does this. No one. That's why it stands out to people. And people go, this is strange. Most people would fear going out. They would want to be closer to their kids. Stop trying to constantly feed us this slop. But the audacity to say something, like he just said, he said that it was the most preposterous thing that he has seen in politics in a very long time. People criticizing Erika Kirk. That's the most preposterous thing he's seen in politics in a very long time.
I don't know how I missed this. I played the same clip for you guys. I remember hearing him say the most preposterous thing, and I can't believe I didn't do like a whole bit about that because there's just so many things. I'm going to let Candace take it, but there's just so many different things that are just so much more preposterous than people talking about Erika. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how Candace beat me to it. Oh my gosh.
Long time. Disagreeing with the new CEO and chairman. This is not just a widow. This is the new CEO and chairman of TPUSA, a position that she did not earn. Nothing that she has done warrants her being in that position. And that to him is like, whoa, I can't believe people are doing this. I've seen some preposterous things just over the last few weeks in politics that should probably rank higher on your list, okay? Like when you guys blew up that school, 150 Iranian schoolgirls were killed, and then you lied about it. That, to me, feels a little more preposterous. I mean, it was not just even 2 days ago that Trump said that he thought Jesus was a Red Cross doctor. That was a little preposterous. Y'all, you're just out here lying about things. I don't know, the Epstein files? Did you have time to go through that, Mr. Vice President? Nothing in there ranked more preposterous for you than us criticizing Erika Kirk? How about Trump just generally attacking a pope because he's calling for peace? How about Trump saying that Brigitte Macron is hot? That was pretty preposterous, that she's got it. It's not even close. The literal ticket you guys ran on was calling for peace. Now you're attacking the pope, or Trump is attacking the pope because he's calling for peace. That feels pretty preposterous. Going to war with the explicit aim of opening the Strait of Hormuz, which was already opened before you began the war, is pretty preposterous. Gas prices right now are pretty preposterous. Us criticizing a grieving widow who can't keep her story straight about anything? No, that shouldn't even hit your radar. So please do not lecture us, JD. Do not, okay? The lecture that is coming from you is exactly why we don't like Erika, because we see it for exactly what it is. It's elite. She has money and connections. She can call Vice President JD Vance. She can get the Secretary Scott Bessent to issue a letter on demand, demanding you stop looking into their finances. She can get Trump to say how much Charlie loved her in his Easter speech. It's the balcony approach that makes us sick. We feel it. You guys looking down in the crowd like we're animals and you're somehow more dignified. Okay, Mr. Vice President, respectfully, our friends aren't in the Epstein files. And I have enough common sense to know that the reason we refer to it as common sense is because it's shared amongst the commoners, us, the majority. And right now, the left and the right, the internet, we have correctly identified the nature of your friend, Erika Kirk. So please, I beg of you, we are 7 months into this thing. Please do not give us more fed slop. We have had our fill. And if it is truly your desire to transform hearts and minds about Erika, might I very humbly suggest that you start with a story that makes sense about September 10th. What happened? One that doesn't feature magical bullets and Superman necks and trannies that write out entire confessions in the spirit of a Jane Austen novel, my love. One which doesn't feature company employees who witnessed the shooting and for some incomprehensible reason neglect to call 911, but instead rush to remove cameras within minutes. That would be my advice. Rather than lecturing us from a balcony, string together a coherent story and a timeline for the commoners. Please and thank you.
See what I mean with the hair? When she's pissed, the hair's going everywhere. You know what I mean? That's why you pull it back, you know? Anyway. And she's right. She's right. This is the most preposterous thing I have ever seen in a long time. Hey, man, didn't your running mate get shot? You okay? What are you talking about? Did someone try to take your running mate out? You guys have never talked about it since? And his house was professionally scrubbed? Isn't that... What? Are you sure? And he had multiple cell phones? And they pinged one of the cell phones that would come to his house, would go back to the bureau headquarters? Isn't that what? Huh? What? Are you sure? That's weird. That's really weird, man. That's really, really weird. Never heard from his parents. Never heard about a funeral. Never heard about any grieving of this guy who went and tried to take out the president. There's a lot of things that have happened that are more preposterous. Him becoming vice president is kind of preposterous. Honestly. I made a video about it. You can see it on my other channel. I made a video about it. I'm like, this never Trumper. I'm like, what is this never Trumper doing as the vice president? I'm like, this is crazy. What are you talking? I'm like, where's Tucker Carlson? Where's Tucker Carlson on this ticket? Thank God that didn't happen. Or maybe it would have been better if it happened. Maybe Tucker right now would be like, 25th Amendment, I'm taking over. Maybe he would have, you know? I don't know. He has connections at the agency through his dad. Maybe they would have just bullied him out. Maybe that would have happened. Not saying I want to see that happen, but could have been a possibility. Anyway, Candace clearly pissed. You know? Then we go back to Baron. Switch over back to Baron, you know?
They want to blame Candace and podcasters. They want to blame Candace and podcasters for this type of anemic turnout. No. You know who did that? You know why no one was there? Drewski. She will never recover from the Drewski hit. It is, now you got to be a little older. I remember this because I was a kid, but you're going to have to be a little older to remember this. It's Michael Dukakis in that stupid helmet in a tank. It's John Kerry in his biohazard suit looking around. I got to find that picture. John Kerry in biohazard suit.
You got to be 55 years old to know who Michael Dukakis is. I used to hear that name when I was 5 years old.
I mean, you can't become president once you're pictured. Oh, let me go to images. I just got to find a good. Yeah. You can't become president if you're pictured looking like this. This was during the campaign in 2004. John Kerry was pictured like that. That's the Drewski moment. That's his Drewski moment, and Drewski probably wasn't even alive. He probably was, actually, but he would have been very young. He'd have been very young. That's the Drewski moment. Let's see if I can find the Michael Dukakis picture in the tank. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is great. Oh man, they put it behind a paywall? A 40-year-old picture or whatever, 38-year-old picture behind a paywall? Let me find one of these here that'll let me show you. I'll just show you this page. This is Michael Dukakis in a tank. See that? He was relentlessly lambasted for that. Just like John Kerry was for this. Her Michael Dukakis moment wasn't even her.
You know, for the younger people out there, I can give you a moment that is exactly like, you remember Dave Chappelle? You remember the Dave Chappelle skit where he was talking about some politician? It was Dave Chappelle. He had a gray thing on, and he was making fun of a certain politician who was like, "Hey, we're going to take Washington. Hey, yeah, yeah." And then Dave Chappelle does it, and he goes, "Pia, pia, oh, pia, pia, yeah." That is the type of thing he's talking about. For everybody who's a little younger, you don't know who John Kerry is. Maybe you don't know Michael Dukakis. He's talking about, that's the analogy I will give to you guys who are younger. It's exactly that. Dave Chappelle going, "Bia." I don't even know how to find it. How could I find it? How do you spell Bia? How do I spell Bia? I don't know if I can spell Bia. Ladies, gentlemen, I'll give it a try. Dave Chappelle. I know the people who know the Dave Chappelle show know exactly what I'm talking about. Being a politician, saying "Bia." That's it. That's all I can do. Do they know who I'm talking about? Nope. They have no idea who I'm talking about. Dave Chappelle, politician. How about that? Just Dave Chappelle being a politician. Nope. Nothing. Nothing comes up anymore. Oh, that's a very sad thing to see. They don't show that anymore. That's so sad. I know I could find it if I was on X. I know I could. Let's do that. I gotta show you guys that. That's the best one. I can just go to anybody's thing. I'll just go to one of my own things. Oh, geez. Look at that. More blaming. More blaming of Candace. This just popped up randomly. Unlike grifters and Candace Owens, I have no problem correcting when I'm wrong. Apparently, the video I shown on Fox was not from the UGA event. I was incorrect on that post. Now, when is Candace going to publicly apologize to Tracy Martin and correct a record about all the lies she told about Tracy's family? Go ahead and list them, Gary, since you know what they are. Why don't you say them instead of just saying all the lies? Again, another tactic. When is Baron Coleman going to admit that Tyler Robinson was not in custody at 6:25 on the 11th? Truth matters. One side is committed to it. Oh, really? And the other side is committed to making to a money-making grift. I don't understand. I'm not. When Gary says something like this, I'm not sure which side he's saying that he's on. I'm not 100% sure. Which side is Gary on when he says this? The money-making grift side, no? Is that what he meant? Wait, am I wrong? Wait, he's on the truth side? Is that what he's saying? I'm so sorry. I'm a little confused. Is he saying he's on the truth side? Nah, that can't be. That can't be. I'm very confused. I'm usually really good at just reading something, understanding what's going on. I can't. I'm really unsure of what side he thinks he's on. That's weird, man. That's weird. Someone should get Mr. Wachuka to straighten out Gary, talk to him a little bit. But I'll go on this post anyway and I'll find the gift. I'm going to find the gift of Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, Bia. That's all I was looking for. And also, we're going to address what Gary just said. Bia. Where is it? No, can't find it. Can't find it. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, though. I'm just going to go, yeah. Still nothing? Oh, man. Wish I could have found it for you guys. It was semi-anticlimactic, but we did find Gary saying some absolute nonsense. So I'm definitely going to have to get into that really quick. Or I'll get into it in a second. But just for the younger people out there, you know, Dave Chappelle screaming out, Bia. That is definitely the thing that matches up.
Well, I guess it was. It's all those weird eyes. I can't even do them. I think that's Drewski. I promise you, more students at the University of Georgia have seen the Drewski skit than have seen your humble host, than have seen Candace Owens, than have seen Coach Colin, than have seen anybody. Ian Carroll. Nope, nobody's seen these people. I mean, a few here and there on college campuses, maybe. But not thousands on every college campus. Are you out of your mind? You know how many of them seen the Drewski skit? 100%. Now, maybe there's some foreign exchange students who barely speak English. They're over here on a Chinese visa or something. Maybe they haven't seen the Drewski skit. But even them, I bet they have. I bet they've seen it. It was ubiquitous. 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 It was everywhere, and it was devastating. And when somebody gets dunked on like that, you're not going to show up to see him speak. That's basically you getting dunked on. Oh, you're going to see the person Drewski dunked on? Doesn't work that way, friends. Doesn't work that way. So I want to show you a picture from this weekend. This was
and Gary and Baron's right about that. Baron's 100% right about that. You know, it's more like Drewski. I'm not gonna blame Drewski and be like, oh, that's why. But it's like the thing that made Drewski make that sketch is the thing that you should really point at when you're trying to figure out what the problem is. I mean, again, I know what's going on. I've already shown you guys step by step. They're trying to place her in office. That's why Trump is like, hey, sue all those people. That's what you should do. That's all they're trying to do right now. You know, they're just trying to figure that how to do that. And they just need everybody quiet so they can just push her into office. Yes, I did see the Howard Dean thing. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. You know,
Tom Harkin. We're going to go to Oregon. Spring break, we're going to go to all over the world. And then I'm coming all the way to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
I mean, that was the moment. That was the end. That was the end of this guy. It ended him. But it was this moment that ended him.
California and Texas and New York. And we go to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Oh, it was the best. It was the best show. It was the best show ever. It was the best show ever. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Comedy Central's out of their mind. They should have just gave Dave Chappelle $1 billion and just been like, can you keep doing the show, please? You know? Keep doing the show, please. Don't stop. Whatever you want to do. Here's $1 billion. Keep doing the show. I mean, what are we talking about here? Crazy. But that was the end of Mr. Howard Dean. That was one speech, and then Dave Chappelle did that, and it was just over. It was done. Once Dave Chappelle threw his arm like that, it was over. Most people didn't even know what he was talking about. Most of us didn't know Howard Dean when we were watching that. We were young people watching the show. It was just Dave Chappelle. It was just the new funniest show ever. And anything he did was just funny. And then we went and saw the actual thing. And that was it for him. It was done. That's what Erika went through with Drewski. So again, but that's not even her fault. That's not even his fault. That's her fault. That's Turning Point's fault. What they're doing. Why they're doing it this way. Thank you guys so much for knowing who Howard Dean was. I had no idea. I had no idea what name to put out there or anything. So thank you. Someone said play it again. No. We can't keep playing it. We can't keep playing it. Someone said watch the documentary. There's a documentary? Oh my God. That means his life's over. Jeez, that's terrible. I didn't know that. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for that. Let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. What was this other clip I had?
Extent I wasn't accurate, I wanted to be corrected.
Oh, this is where Baron kind of solidifies it. You know, I like this. I like when Baron gets like this. I really like when Baron gets like this. Yeah. I hope it's not like a stress on him, but when I see him speak like this, I'm like, it gets me going. I don't know about you.
So I offer this to TPUSA. Tyler Boyer, I know you have my number. If you ever feel like I've gotten something wrong, tell me. Tell me. Now, I might ask for documentary proof. I might ask for some sort of documentation. Don't just call me and tell me Andrew was on a later flight, because I don't believe he was. Tell me why you believe that. Give me something. I'll be happy to make the correction. I'll adjust my entire timeline. It might affect the outcome of my research. It might affect my conclusion of who was involved and why. But if you're just going to gaslight me, if you're just going to provide fake documentation, if you're just going to call me evil, if you're just going to threaten to do this or do that or try to get you shut down or mass report or try to take your law license, if you're just going to do all that kind of stuff, hey, I'm retired from the practice of law. I have zero, well, I can't say that right now. I actually still have one active case. I have one active case right now. It's a case that's been going on for the better part of a decade. It's just lingering. Other than that, I'm retired. I don't want to, I mean, obviously, you'd like to keep your law licenses, but ultimately, go to hell if you're going to say that stuff. If you're going to try that stuff, go to hell, Gary. If you're going to come out there and tell me I'm dishonest, buddy, give me a reason why you disagree. I'll change my mind. I will change my mind. But don't just gaslight me. Don't just say I'm evil. Don't just say I'm not drinking the Fed slop narrative. Just don't say I'm not eating it like Alpo. No offense to the people at Purina. I'm sure Alpo's delicious for dogs. It's just not meant for humans. Not for human consumption. Don't eat it. Give it to Fido.
Man. There you go. Solid. So I love when he talks like that. Because that's how it should be. You know? If you're going around and you're actually trying to put these threats forward, that's insane. Law licenses and stuff. I love that he said he's retired. Good. Good. When I did my members chat with him, he had just stepped away from law. He had just stepped away from his job. And I was shocked. I was like, I'm like, what? I'm like, why hadn't, what? And he was like, yeah, I was working a job. I'm like, you're doing the show and working a job. I'm like, this is crazy. That's why the show stepped up so much. Because all of a sudden, what we saw him doing before was with limited time. Then all of a sudden he had this incredible amount of time. So, I agree. Go to hell. If that's the kind of stuff you're doing. You know? I'll go to comedy clubs. That's my plan anyway. Go to comedy clubs. Go to theaters. That's my plan anyway. Not that I'll stop doing this show or anything, but that is the thing that I'm striving for myself. I want to get a tour going. I want to get out and actually meet the people, exchange emails, shake hands. I'm trying to get out there. So, you know, do what you will. Do what you will. Anyways, guys, let's keep going here. Baron, ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show, as everybody knows, friend of the show. Let's move on to the weirdness that is the people that they are adjacent to. I think it's very, very weird. And I know you do too. I'll play a little bit from Baron, then we're going to jump over to Candace's little spreadsheet.
But we'll see. We'll see. The question is, what is he doing? What is he doing as a licensed firearm dealer? What is he doing? What? Gosh, I got to be careful what I say here. I think it's impossible at this point. Again, I go back to what Candace showed today on her show, which was, I think, remarkable. No one's ever compiled it the way she did. She put it in a spreadsheet right on the screen, and she had all the people surrounding TPUSA, adjacent to TPUSA. Like I said, there were a couple, like Jaco Boyens she left off, I think. Maybe she put it on there, but I don't remember seeing him. And Jaco Boyens, if you recall, opened a charity with Lori Francevey, who was for some reason using her maiden name, Lori Abbas. But she put it all up there, and when you looked at it, what you saw was an absolute trafficking ring constructed around these people. And I find it difficult to believe that all of these people adjacent to trafficking charities and former traffickers themselves and people with licensed firearm dealers and all this stuff, I find it nearly impossible to believe that it is an innocent set of circumstances. I used to be the president of a pro-life charity.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy. You jump over here. It gets all wonky when I try and zoom in on it, but it is nuts, right? It is very similar. Candace did show us something like this probably 2 months ago, maybe even 3 months ago, where she had this whole thing of like, you know, Liberty University. So Tyler graduated. Erika Kirk attended and graduated. Cabot attended and graduated. Mikey was supposed to. He was accepted, but he went and worked with Turning Point instead. Rob McCoy met Charlie Kirk via Jerry Falwell and Liberty University. We all know what happened with Jerry Falwell. We all know what happened with him. Andrew Colvette came out of Johnny Moore's Kairos company. Johnny Moore was a leader pastor at Liberty University. Falkirk Center, Falkirk and Charlie Kirk. Mission was, which failed because of what happened with Jerry, the scandal that he was involved in. Erika Franzvi was in the Falkirk Fellowship, or she was a Falkirk Fellow. This eventually spun off to become Turning Point Faith. So Charlie went and did that himself, but that's after he met Rob McCoy, which was the same year. So literally this thing failed. You can't even see my cursor here. So literally this thing failed, the Falkirk, and then he met Rob McCoy, and then Turning Point Faith was made. And it was made because he was instructed to make it. He wanted to make something like that. That's why he made the Falkirk, the whole thing to begin with, but it fell through because of what that guy was involved in, and then he made his own thing, and that was under Rob McCoy's mentorship. Not under his instruction, but mentorship. Rob McCoy, pastor himself. At the same time, he's meeting Frank Turek, and then Turning Point Faith becomes a thing. I mean, it's just so crazy. And then we look here. I don't even want that word on the screen. But then formerly Romania, late 2023, Erika, Romania. Tyler goes to Romania. Like, how did they not know each other? She's there 2012, early 2013. Tyler's there a year before with the Romanian government. 2013, Tyler posts a photo of himself with a Ukrainian orphan named Natalia. Doesn't speak English, claims to be helping her with adoption. Turning Point Faith works with Pastor Gary Laurie. Gary Laurie's wrapped up in some stuff. There's an accusation. I don't know if he's going to court or anything like that. I believe the accusation was negligence because something was kind of happening under his nose and people felt like he should have known about it. And I'm sure some people even accused that he did know about it. Harvest Church, which is currently being accused of exactly Romania stuff. I mean, Andrew Colvette's brother, Curtis, is currently stationed in Romania as a lieutenant colonel. Tyler Holtz. I mean, this is just too much. When Baron says, I think it just can't be just a set of circumstances, man, is he right. Man, is he right. And I just showed you, that was just me going through Liberty University and Eastern Europe. Then you get to the actual rush hour traffic of things. And then there's just a whole bunch there. So everything's just so adjacent. It's so crazy. Then you get into the military connection. I mean, we've been talking about this, and I mean, it doesn't just stop there, right? She's talking about Liberty University, but you can go to Cornerstone, I believe, Calvary Chapel. I mean, Candace played a video of Rob McCoy sitting down with a guy who had some vile charges. He's like explaining, he's like, oh, the lawyer did this and that, and oh, man, it's crazy. The guy went to jail. He was convicted. Rob McCoy's just talking to him like he's a friend. I don't know, man. The whole thing's crazy. But this is my fault. It was my fault for pulling this up on the screen to begin with, I guess. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Anyways. There's no way. Well, you know, I'll say allegedly. It would be really hard. And I brought this up before. I've brought this up many times with Erika. Like, how many friends are you going to have that are like that? And I brought it up yesterday in the sense of, or maybe it was the day before, when I was talking about Victor Marks. Charlie knew this guy too. Charlie knew all these people who were named. Charlie knew them all too. So it's like, as much as it's like pointing at Erika and being like, wow, why is she connected to all these people? Charlie was connected to them too. And it wasn't all through Erika, right? A bunch of it would be through Erika, but some of it was just him. He just had connection to these people. He had Victor Marks on his show. They had a long conversation. They talked about all sorts of things. So he was close enough to Victor Marks. He was very close to Tyler. He was very close to people from university. He was starting an actual center with a dude that ended up having a scandal on him. He was doing that with the guy. He was friends with that guy. Obviously, they had a business relationship. They clearly had some kind of connection again. And then he married Erika, who has all these adjacent people. So it's like he's just as much involved. Allegedly. I don't know. Looks bad. You know? Looks bad enough. So, sad, but, you know, he is, someone just put a sad face. Like, yeah, it's sad. It is, but he was connected to all these people. You know, he was right along with all these people. Even when Wolves did that video where he was talking about the circle of Arizona and the state level government musical chairs that's being played, like this person moves here, this guy drops out, this guy goes here, this guy needs a house, they buy the house, and you know, that whole thing. Charlie was connected to all those guys. All of them. I'm not going to say Charlie's bad. I'm not saying he was like that or anything, but you know, we can't just throw it at Erika. It's not just Erika. In fact, it was him. You could argue more so than Erika, because Erika had all the connections that we've seen and gone through and that you've seen Candace lay out. But he had even more, because then he had all of the Arizona, and then he had the admin, and then he had massive parts of the conservative movement. So who knows how much he had? Who knows what he was doing with that information? You'll never really know. Maybe that is why he was the guy that was talking to everybody. Maybe he was the guy that would come in and be like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, so, you know, we've been through a lot. I know a lot of things about you. And, you know, I just need you to post this. And, you know, you're just going to support the president, right? Yeah, you're probably just going to support the president because, you know, we know each other from Arizona, right? You were in Romania, right? Okay. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what he was, but I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Wouldn't be so out of sorts if possibly he was like that. You know, a lot of people, you know, I've seen and I've agreed with it. People have talked about, well, he's neurodivergent and he was very, very naive. You know, who knows? And someone just said he was a patsy. In a way, I did this whole series, you know. Jesse had the whole manufactured martyr. I had the manufactured Messiah that I did. It was like a little, you know, my videos, like 40 minutes or whatever. You can call it a documentary, I guess, mini doc. And I was talking about how when it came to Liberty University, came to Calvary, Cornerstone even, I believe, Turning Point Faith, Build Up Korea, Stand for Freedom, I believe it's called, which is adjacent to Liberty University. He was at the center of all of it. They put him at the center of all of it. I don't think that was his intention, but he was the one that would go and speak everywhere. He was from Korea, everywhere. He would just go speak everywhere. He was at the center of it all. I think there was a point where Candace was supposed to be that person. She was supposed to be the center of it all. And it wasn't supposed to be Erika taking over for Charlie. I think it was Charlie that was supposed to be taking over for Candace. That's what I think. Because when I do that whole series, it's a video. You'll find it. It's just the thumbnail just says Manufactured Messiah. Because when you really look at everything, how everything was done, he was separated from Candace, but he always felt like Candace was the centerpiece. So if he didn't get separated from Candace, he would have kept on pushing her as the person, her as the voice, her as this Messiah of sorts, right? This presidential type lady who is this Iron Lady. That's what he would call her. Iron Lady, the missing piece, all those things. And then if she had passed away, then Charlie would have stepped in and it would have been smooth sailing. Because Charlie could have stepped in and been like, we're all very sad about it. I'm not saying he planned to do this. I'm not saying this was a plan. Okay? I'm just saying them together as everything was going, if Candace could have been kept in line, right? Because this battle bun energy, I'm sure she's had this her whole life, you know, before it was even in a bun, right? I'm sure she's always had this energy. She couldn't be kept in line. Charlie could be kept in line, right? So she had to be separated. She had to be just pushed aside and forced out. So then they just had Charlie and they only had him to do this whole thing with. And they did. But then the person who fills in is Erika. And she's not a good speaker. She's not a good communicator. She's not a good debater. She's not Candace. She's not Charlie. And at this point in her life, there's no way for her to become that. It's just not possible. So, yeah. Sad, but, you know, Charlie definitely knew these guys. So we can't act like he didn't. Sad enough. Again, not saying he did anything. Just, what can you do? Wasn't just Erika. You know, I'm not sticking up for Erika, but I'm saying you had to have known some stuff. You had to have known about the people you're around. You know what I mean? You have to know about the people that you're around. You have to have this thing in mind where you're like, yeah, this guy has done this guy's done that. You know, you'd hear about it, especially in a political type of realm. Somebody would tap you and be like, hey, man, you know, this guy was caught up in this. Or as much as this guy likes to read and research like Charlie did, you know, he'd find out, be like, hey, this guy's involved in this guy's involved in this. And also from that interview that I showed you guys months ago, maybe 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, where he's sitting down with someone named Justice, I believe his name is. It's Just US. I think that's how you say Justice. He sits down for that interview and he shows, and even when he sits down with George Janko, he shows that he is reading about all the stuff that we talk about. He doesn't have a tinfoil hat, you know, or at least one that he doesn't take outside the house, but he has some tinfoil garments. So how would you not know about that stuff? It's circulating around those people. Anyway, don't want to speak about the dead poorly. I'm just saying, just making a point here. Anyway, let's keep going, guys. It's the saddest if you have to talk about Charlie like that, you know? Yeah, YouTube disabled. Thanks for naughty thing. Thanks for continuously posting about how the super chats are disabled. Thank you very much. Maybe you need some sleep. Why do I need some sleep? But anyway, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Yeah, that's true. Anyways, let's keep going here, guys. Bang. We got M on the screen. M, the excuse that Candace's cancellation was due to threats and people tracking her. Flight itinerary is a blatant lie. Even Erika submitted a request to the FAA to hide the flight history and ownership data months ago. January specifically, she cannot be tracked flying on Charlie's plane. Huh. I don't know if that's true. M does great work. I've talked about M before. I like M stuff. I like what M does. What's going on with M? People following M? Almost. You'll get there. She does great work, but I don't know if that's true. If that is true, that's just another thing making that whole claim fall apart. If people actually can't track her at all. I know Elon Musk made it so that couldn't happen anymore. Let's also touch on Gary once again, just before we jump into Tucker. You know, lighten the mood with some Gary. Descendant of the Kandahar giant. I don't know if you guys ever heard that. It's like a rumor that's swelling around. I don't know who actually put that out there, but let's check out this. He's sitting down with Tracy Martin once again. Gary looking very red. Am I imagining that? Gary here. Let's make this a little bigger. Gary looking a little red there. See? It's those giant genes. They're coming out. I told you guys. You guys didn't believe me. They're coming out. These giant genes, apparently. Wow. What's going on? This guy's been in the sun. He's been relaxing recently. Well, good for you. Get out there. Have a vacation. Anyway, let's play this. Apparently, they're trying to say that Charlie fired Candace.
It's just the type of person that he was. I think how toxic she was. TPUSA Amfest 2024 or 2025. Ben Shapiro, TPUSA,
Correct.
or he was forced to resign. You can't call someone your best friend when you're trying to destroy their family, you're trying to destroy their legacy. You know, there's some facts around this. And again, I've talked to insiders and I know some insider information with some of this, but the fact is that Charlie Kirk fired Candace Owens from TPUSA,
Correct.
or he was forced to resign. We'll leave it that way, in 2019. Since 2019, she was not at Erika's and Charlie's wedding. She was not invited to that. She was not on a single Charlie Kirk show podcast. That's weird if you're not best friends. Ben Shapiro, on the other hand, has been on there multiple times.
Yeah.
She was not invited to TPUSA Amfest 2024 or 2025. Ben Shapiro was invited personally by Charlie Kirk to both of those. You know, I think there's just so many indicators, and I've heard that not only did Charlie Kirk not want anything to do with her, but he was avoiding her phone calls, and he understood how toxic she was. And yes, he was going to be a gentleman and be friendly and not cause division in public. And I think that's just the type of person that he was. I think, you know, there's a lot of people now that wish that, you know, he would have been more candid about what was going on with that in retrospect. But, you know, what was your inside information on that? Like, what's your thoughts on all of that?
I think, first of all, you're correct, you know, as far as how this broke off and how things happened and the like the deterioration of the relationship and the friendship, however loosely you want to use that. But I always go by the barometer of the important moments in someone's life. You want the people that are supposedly, she was not invited to the private wedding. She was not invited to the bigger wedding or the bigger reception. She was not invited to the private, you know, funeral. She was not invited to she wasn't invited to anything like that. And this was.
That's interesting that she brings that up. She wasn't invited to the wedding, private wedding, bigger wedding. Don't know what that is. So she wasn't invited to those two things. Then she wasn't invited to the memorial. And then if there was a funeral, she wasn't invited to that. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Who would be in control and have the say of whether or not she could attend those things? Who would have the control? Now, I mean, the wedding, you would say Charlie has the control. Charlie was alive then. Well, it's a wedding. And you have a wife. Your wife's pretty much in control of what's going on at the wedding. That's just the way that goes. You know, you have a say in where you get to stand and maybe the kind of suit you get to wear. Unless you make the wrong decision, then your wife will correct you because it's her big day. Don't mess it up. Don't touch the cake. Okay? Right? So who would have control over that? I think Erika would. I have no idea, but I think Charlie's pretty traditional in that sense. Us traditional guys, traditional Christians, if our wife wants something, we're just like, okay. Especially on the wedding day. The wedding day, you put your foot down on a lot of things, but the wedding day, you're like, okay, whatever you need. Candace can't be there. Maybe there was donors there. Maybe the donors didn't want Candace there. I don't know. I have no idea. Who would have had control after at the memorial? Well, I don't think Charlie would. Charlie was gone by then. So I don't think Charlie had that unless they had plans from Charlie and he was like, listen, and when I pass, Candace can't be there. Unless they had that type of thing going on. I don't know. But who would have control over that? I'll probably say Erika again. Who actually had a little hand in, allegedly, apparently, according to Candace and others, who potentially had a hand in what happened with Kanye, Charlie, and Candace? Candace was saying Erika did. I don't know. Those are the little things Gary doesn't quite catch on to. It's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. You have to understand, he's 11 years old. He's a giant, you understand? He's going to get a lot taller and hopefully a lot smarter over time. You're going to see. By the time he's 8 feet tall, he will be, you know, have the intelligence of a 14-year-old. 14-year-olds are actually quite smart. So, it's a rumor. I don't know. It's a rumor. I've heard it. I don't know who's spreading it. I don't know. But yeah, so they're saying that Candace got fired. I don't think she did. I don't think Charlie did that. I think she was squeezed out slowly. I think he got with Tyler, and I think slowly as things popped up with Candace, the little, not even scandals, but like the cancellation that happened, right? And then she went on to work with PragerU. I believe she went directly from there to PragerU and then to Daily Wire. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. She wouldn't be controlled. She felt like she should be able to say whatever she wants. Charlie was at a point, and a sad point, where he was valuing the donors and the money more so. And it's understandable because he was building a company. And when you're building a company, it's a living, breathing thing. And it's like a child almost, right? It's not as slow as Gary, but it's like a child and it needs nurturing. And sometimes you get so engaged in that business that other things kind of just fall to the wayside. So then you just say, okay, fine, whatever. Candace can't be a part of it anymore. I'm elevating to this point. I'd like her to still be here. And the next thing you know, Tyler's saying nah, and Andrew's saying nah, and everybody around you, and Erika's there, and everybody's saying, maybe it would be better for your image going forward. These 4 donors will pull out if you continue to have her. I think there's more of that happening than anything. So just wanted to show that really quick. Gary, ladies and gentlemen, the red hot giant. Look at him. The red hot giant, Gary Melton, straight from the mountains of Kandahar. That's just what I've heard. It's a rumor. It's spreading around. I have no idea. Let me hear some more of this.
Even before all this happened, Erika and Charlie were at her and George's wedding. They were there. But they were not at Erika and Charlie's wedding. And I also think, like you said, even if you split from someone, if you believe that they are a valuable voice in the movement, you would still somehow incorporate them to some degree, if you were aligned at some point. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't even understand why they're doing this. The text messages already got released at 2023, and Candace toured with Charlie Kirk. What was it? 2023, 2024? Like this. What are you trying to do? Like this, like you're not making any headway here. This is how you know this is like a weird planned thing. And it's an interview. So all interviews are planned. So I'm not really saying anything wrong, right? It's an interview. People plan and coordinate interviews all the time. That's all I'm saying. But it's very obvious something's going on here. Like you just did this video. April 15th, you did this video. It's the 16th. You did this video like 48 hours ago. Why? We already saw the text messages that Charlie and Candace were keeping in contact. We already know this. This is the type of weird mainstream media tactics that these slimy folks try to play. The bending of reality, the bending and twisting of reality. Ladies and gentlemen, if we've dug ourselves into a hole by the things that we're saying, let's dig it deeper as we get into Tucker Carlson. Friend of the show. My in-laws are here. My wife's dad's here. He's gonna hear that and be like, You sure this guy's taking care of you? That's all they hear. That's all they hear downstairs. Oh my gosh. I gotta stop I can't do it this episode, man. I gotta keep up for appearances. They're gonna Let's exactly. She did a show on what happened. I know, I remember. Really quick, just before we go into Tucker, you guys were telling me Baron actually did at 3 hours and 33 minutes. He played a clip of me. Really? Wow. What timing this guy has. Oh my gosh. You guys weren't lying. Let's see here.
Well, Coach. All right, here we go. Start about 20 seconds early. Make sure we get the whole thing. Black eyes.
Is this one of these Baron things where he thinks everybody can hear it and nobody can? Is that what's going on now? That's what's happening, right? This is the Baron thing that you guys talk so much about. He can hear it perfectly, right? He's having a good old time right now, and nobody else can hear it. Is that is that what happens? I love it. I love it. I love it. It just, the whole time it's like this. Look at the chat, man. You gotta look at the chat. Baron, pull up the chat. Look at the chat. The chat's probably telling you. Baron, the chat. Pull up the chat, man. They can't hear. Baron.
I gotta see the black eyes. Where are they?
You gotta pull up the chat, Baron.
I'm looking, guys. I'm efforting.
This is so funny. That's so funny. This is not the black eyes part even. What's going on here?
I'll have to look for it. I'll have to look for it later.
That is so funny.
Because I can't find it.
That is so funny.
Oh, there it is. I was looking for a Red Ross. All right, I can't find it. The black eyes. I'll have to go back.
That is so funny. Shout out to Baron. Thanks for the plug there. Appreciate that, sir. I'm sure everybody who doesn't know about me in your audience is now just ecstatic to see my podcast where it sounds like I am in a World War II plane of sorts trying to talk on a walkie-talkie. Thank you very much, sir. That is so good. That is so good. Oh man, Baron, friend of the show, most definitely. That is so funny. And I think somebody actually tagged him in the black eyes thing, so you don't have to worry. He actually did find the black eyes thing. He did find it. Somebody tagged me and him. They showed a still of before and then a still after of the black eyes. That's a weird thing, huh? Victor making his eyes go black? I'm telling you, man. And he played it at 3:33. Oh my God. Crazy. You know, 3:33 in 3 seconds is when he started. Is that me that's a part of things, or is that him that's a part of things? Or is it both of us? That was not both. Don't put that evil on me, okay, Baron? Don't put that evil on me, okay? That's on you. You picked that time, okay? All right, let's get over to Tucker Carlson already. Tucker Carlson having a real issue with the president, right? So shout out to Tucker for saying what he was willing to say. We'll start off this first clip. This is where he discusses the tweet from the president, what he didn't like about it. Then he gets into the president being the Antichrist. I'm not kidding. This is where we're at right now. And this is not like a random theory that only Tucker's pulling out. There's been hundreds of people, thousands even, maybe even tens of thousands that have talked about this exact theory, the man of lawlessness. And then he talks about the religion of the government. Let's go.
Trump is a famously irreligious man, just not that interested, basically secular, a product of his time and place. If you doubt that, some of the funniest clips ever of Donald Trump, and this is not a criticism, they're legit funny, are him being interviewed during the 2016 campaign and asked basic questions like, what's your favorite book of the Bible? To which he says, with some confusion, well, the Bible, maybe unaware there are component books to it. So Donald Trump is not someone who traditionally, or ever really, has weighed in on questions of faith or theology. He kind of gives it a pass, sort of smiles. Yeah, I'm for it. The Bible. But in the space of 1 week, Donald Trump, the same famously irreligious Donald Trump, has weighed in pretty specific ways on matters of faith and theology and religion publicly in ways that are disruptive and sort of hard to understand, but worth trying to understand. So all of this began about 10 days ago on Easter Sunday, early on Easter Sunday, before 9 a.m. on Easter Sunday, when Trump tweeted that he was planning on destroying civilian infrastructure in Iran. It was going to be bridge and power plant day, basically promising war crimes, crimes against civilians, against the population of the country. And then in that same tweet or truth, he used the F word on Easter Sunday. And then he seemed to make fun of Islam. Praise Allah, he said. So in one short statement of about 110 words, he seemed to give the finger to the world's two largest religions, Christianity and Islam. That was Sunday. And then exactly 1 week later, also on Sunday, the Christian holy day, he attacked the Pope, the leader of the world's largest religion and largest Christian denomination, and attacked him personally and said basically he's only Pope because of me. He's bad. The Pope is bad. And then later that day, maybe most interestingly, bafflingly of all, he sent out this meme. Take a look at this. Now, there are two on the screen. The one on the right is the one that he sent out, and it's himself. It's Donald Trump, President of the United States, dressed as Jesus, healing a man. And you can see the healing power coming off of his right hand. Now, the image on the left of your screen is the original image, and it was floating around the internet. Who knows exactly where it came from, but it's been there for quite some time.
It was actually made by a guy in February. I forget the guy's exact name, but he made it back in February, this image that you're seeing here. And he made sure that this was like the spirit of the soldiers, the troops behind the president, right? Then they go ahead and make this. This is what Tucker's going to be talking about, because this looks pretty evil in nature. And for some reason, the people around him, his assistants, his intern, whatever you want to call it, his aides, for some reason, they thought it made sense to do this. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this because there's a little bit of a connection. What made me think of this was the Statue of Liberty. And if you know about the Statue of Liberty, then you know it's a little weird. But I'm gonna show you a little bit about it. Anyway, let's keep going.
The one on the right is the one the president sent out, White House Communications Office or whoever does this, sent out, and you'll notice that it's been changed. And the American soldier over the president's head, the president as Jesus's head, has been changed and is now, if you look very carefully, a demon, some kind of winged creature of hell. So it goes from an image that suggests, healing and light to an image that suggests, I don't know, a scene from Revelation, John's vision on the Isle of Patmos, the end times, the apocalypse, who knows? Nothing good. It suggests demonic power because there is a demon in it. So he sent that out and then withdrew it, deleted the tweet from the internet after an outcry, but was asked about it. And he said, yeah, I sent that. Didn't explain how the demon got in there. Someone at the White House put it in. Didn't explain why. And he said, I sent it out, but it wasn't me as Jesus, though obviously it is. It was me as a doctor because I heal people. Jesus, of course, basically described himself as a doctor, someone who came for the sick to heal them, which he did. So maybe a distinction without a difference, but still kind of confusing. And then today, a day later, was asked about it again, and he said, no, I didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't send it out. Which wasn't exactly an answer to the question. Even more confusing. What was that? And then, to make it even further mysterious, sent out this meme on Truth Social. Read.
I didn't see this. I didn't see this. First off, shout out to him. I like to give myself a nice chiseled jawline too. If I have the opportunity to, go ahead, give me a good old jawline. You kidding me? And then this guy, whoever this guy is from Portland, some Portland guy just like hanging out with him saying, let's put our differences aside. I'm kidding. Obviously, that's supposed to be Jesus. Just crazy. Just crazy imagery, But it kind of tracks because, like, what happened when Charlie passed away? What was the first thing he posted? He posted something like, Charlie was like hugged up against like a flag that wasn't an American flag. You remember that? Like just weird stuff. He just whoever posts his stuff, they don't got it. They don't got it. Whoever is posting for him, he needs somebody else to post for him.
He tweeting somebody else, and it's him, Donald Trump, being, I don't know, how would you describe that? Caressed by, healed by, maybe endorsed by Jesus. That's unmistakably Jesus, the Christian Messiah, the man God at the center of Christianity, with his arm around Donald Trump, basically saying, you go Trump, I'm on your side. So all of that in a little over a week. What does it mean? Because it certainly means something. This isn't so much a couple of memes. These are icons. It's iconography.
Yeah, somebody actually just said in the chat, like, Christians are the radical left. Like, that's who's not going to like it. That's the person that's probably not going to like that all that much. It's not going to be someone who's radically left. Because, you know, if you want to go with the stereotypical radical left, they're going to be like, yeah, F all religion. Like, F it all, whatever. Throw it all aside. You know, it's nonsense. It's causing death, etc., etc. That's usually the stereotypical stance of someone who's like far left. Now, they don't get upset when they see an image of Jesus, or they don't get upset because you're blaspheming, you know? So it's just, I don't know, man. Man. I was talking to somebody. They're going to be like a new editor, and we were just talking about it. And he was just like, yeah, man. He's like, what this guy's turned into is just, he's a young guy too. Young guy, like 20 years old. And he was like, what this guy's turned into is crazy. He's like, I can't believe this. He's like, I've supported this guy forever. And he's 20, which means he's supported him since he was like a kid. He's like, but he's like, what he's turned into now. And I'm telling you, man, like I said, the kid's 20. They turn far the other way. Like, you want to play these games and you want to lie to them. They haven't been lied to by politicians as much as someone who's 40 or 50. So it's new to them. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'll just watch Myron Gaines. I don't care. I guess I'll just be watching Nick Fuentes. I guess that's what I'll be doing, because this guy's lying to me. And that's where the kid's at now. You know, can't say I blame him either.
These are attempts to send a statement about faith. What statement is the president sending? Well, not a coherent one. Doesn't actually add up to a theology. It's mockery. He's mocking Jesus. He's making fun of Christianity. The central figure of the religion is being held up for mockery, of course. And his description of how this got out is itself mockery of the idea of truth. One day he says, yeah, I did it. Next day he says, no, I didn't do it. Both are on video. That's not really a lie. It's more than a lie. It's bigger than a lie. It's an attack not just on a specific set of facts. It's an attack on the idea that there are facts.
So let's get into a little bit of this picture. So this is the, obviously you guys know, Tucker already showed it. That is the picture that he posted, right? And somebody even said, you know, but they think they added in the light bringer. You know, that's who that is. You know, a lot of you are saying Baphomet, Lucifer, etc., and you're correct. You're correct. That is what they've depicted there. But what it made me think about was, oh, and somebody even showed this. I'll go to the Statue of Liberty in a second. Somebody even showed this. I did some digging, and the godlike figure at the top of Trump's photo is actually Baal, the demon, from the cover of a book called The Last Pull. This is insane. And this actually looks very, very on point. This is very, very on point. This looks very similar. You know, the same 3 points, the same wings here, or, you know, I guess they're wings or arms or something like that. They're definitely not, yeah, maybe they're the top of wings or something like that. But that's very, very similar. Now, I don't know what this movie's about. You know, why don't we check what this movie's about? You know what I mean? Since we're going into symbolism. You go into symbolism, you got to go deep, you know? Let's go deep. Let's go deep into the symbolism here. What is the movie The Last Pull about? Let me see. What is this about? Let me see. Victim races against time to survive, rescue the killer's victim, horror. Another movie called The Last Word. So it's saying that there isn't a movie called The Last Pull. I don't know about that. Let me see. Am I mistaking? It says The Last Pull there. I don't know. So now there's not a movie coming up at all, right? So they're saying that there is no movie called The Last Pull. Instead, it's the search instead reference a 2019 horror film titled Pull. Yeah, no, nothing's coming up. All right. Whoa. Instead, they're talking about a movie called Pull. They investigate missing person cases and encounter a serial offer who has trained flesh-eating creatures. Okay. All right. Well, that's worse than what I thought I was going to pull up. I thought I was just going to pull up like an End Times movie or something. Okay. So there's that. And then there's also this. Now, there's a little bit of nudity up there, so I'm not going to show that. So basically, they're talking about the Statue of Liberty and Lucifer. You ever seen the two comparisons between the two? Let's make this a little smaller for you guys. There are some comparisons that have been going on between the Statue of Liberty, okay, as the Statue of Lucifer, sorry, chained foot, as you can see here, chained foot, the face, 7-point crown, and then the actual, again, chained. And that is an apple there, okay? So that's an apple right there. A bitten apple, an apple with a bite taken out of it. So this is a depiction of Lucifer from 1848. Then we have the Statue of Liberty, also chained foot, also 7-point crown, also within the big apple, which has been bitten and rotten, and also bringing the light forward. That's what it signified to me more than anything. That's what I was really seeing. Let me just see here. Revelations. Let me just pull this part up here. There's like a nude part. I can't show you guys the nude part. It's actually a statue of Lucifer, which is very, very odd. How do I show you guys this without showing you guys this? I'm not even gonna try. I can't do it. Oh yeah, I'll have it all the way up there. That's what I'll do. Boom. Okay, perfect. So basically, there is a statue of the Statue of Liberty, and then there's a statue of Lucifer. And basically, the Statue of Liberty, again, chained foot. This is the Lady Liberty, but doesn't look much like a lady. And then there's Lucifer. And then if you see, I will show you the top image, and I have to do this again. How will I do this? I will switch images. I will bring it all the way down here like this. That's what I'll do. All the way down. And then I will switch images back to show, whoop, almost, to show you the top. So when you look at the Statue of Liberty and you look at the depiction of Lucifer, it is actually very, very similar. Both holding light. He is the light bringer. This is the light bringer. Both have a crown. Faces are very similar. Masculine face here. And both are coming to liberate the people. So that's what came to mind with me. A lot of people will just say Baphomet. They'll just say Baal, things like that. But I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a deeper symbolism here. Very, very weird stuff. Anyway. Oh, it's a book. Man, come on. You had me doing the Baron here. That's not my fault. That's your fault. How dare you? Okay. The movie. I always think of movies. What is the book The Last Pull about? Okay. Thank you also. So this book is about a character who travels from Chicago to Yafrin. What? Hold on a second. Let's make this nice and big for everybody. This book is about search results. The Last Pull. He goes from Chicago all the way to Yafrin, a renamed that place, to walk the path of Jesus, wrought with modern day Baal worshippers. Whoa. This description appears in Reddit thread where users identified a character from an image as belonging to a specific book, though the work is not widely indexed in major places. Let me see. This significant ambiguity, controversy regards the book's existence. That's really crazy. That is really, really crazy. Let's go down here. The plot details describing the journey to stop Baal worshippers seem to be the primary synopsis available online. Whoa. Interesting. Okay. So that's pretty crazy as well. The last pull. So this guy basically is taking the walk to stop this guy. So he's really making himself into like a religious figure. That's a wild thing. And that brings us to our next part, where Tucker starts talking about what he thinks the president is. Okay? Now let's get into this. This is wild. It's actually a perfect segue.
A couple of verses that seem to fit what we're watching. And if you are a sincere Christian or know some, maybe you got these texted to you, but we'll read them just so you know how a lot of people of faith were interpreting this. The first is from Paul's second letter to the Thessalonians, the church of Thessalonica, chapter 2, very well-known verse in which he's describing what's going to happen when Jesus comes back. And he says, you're going to hear that Jesus is coming back. Don't believe what you hear. A bunch of things have to happen before he returns to earth, redeems the world, history ends. And you'll know that he's coming by these events. And among them will be the rise of a figure he describes as the man of lawlessness, sometimes describes as the Antichrist. But the man of lawlessness is the phrase from his second letter to the Thessalonians. And he says this, there will be a great rebellion against God, led by that man of lawlessness. This man, quote, will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. He will pose as God. He will mock other gods and put himself in their place. That's from the second letter to the Thessalonians. But that's not the first place in the Bible, Old and New Testaments, where something like this is described. Variations of this are in a number of prophecies in what Christians call the Old Testament, including those contained in the book of Daniel. The prophet Daniel describes something very much like this at the end of history, and he's describing this period, really, as is so often described in the prophets, as punishment for faithlessness and sin. God's people are being punished for not following God. And that punishment, he describes in part in chapter 11 from the book of Daniel, predicts the coming of a king, and we're quoting now, a king who will do as he pleases. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god and will say unheard of things against the God of gods. He will be successful until the time of wrath is completed, for what has been determined must take place. It's all ordained, in other words, preordained. He will show no regard for the gods of his ancestors, nor will he regard any god, but will exalt himself above them all. So to a lot of Christians, or people who know the Bible well and believe in it, these predictions in both the Old and the New Testament, and there are others, seem to fit what we were watching. Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist? Well, who knows?
This is wild. Wow, this is not you're not getting one of those in this episode. Oh no. You'll get that from me. You're not getting that from Tucker. Not this time around. Now, like I said, this is a theory that a lot of people have brought up before. A lot. I remember, because I literally have hundreds, I would think like 300 episodes supporting the president, trying to get people to understand why he is the best choice, all the amazing attributes of him, etc., etc. Hoodwinked 300 times, times 300. So I would, I have all these videos, and so many people would comment. The people who didn't like it, right? They didn't like him. They would talk about him being the Antichrist. And I would always be like, that's so nonsensical, because look at all the things that he wants to do, all the things he's saying. I don't even know if the website exists anymore, but there was like an Agenda 47. And the things that he was talking about doing and the executive orders he was talking about signing, I was like, how could you even remotely connect him to something like that at all? And they would have flimsy arguments. Some of them would have strong arguments. But either way, I was all in on him, and I didn't want to hear it. And I would often, you can even, because sometimes I get into back and forth with people online and stuff, audience members and stuff. And I'd be like, you can make that connection with Bibi. You couldn't make that connection with the president, the now president. You can't do that with him. Are you kidding me? I'd be like, this is crazy. And I would also lean towards, I'd be like, Elon Musk fits that more than anything. But nowadays, now it's 2026, you don't really see Elon mocking God. He might be doing something that we might deem a little godless, putting chips in people's heads. Right now, he's doing it for really people who need it. And I do support that. You're paralyzed and it gives you a second chance at life, and you can like control a computer with your mind and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, that's good, because you can't move. And if one day they could move because of it, I think that's a great thing. But you don't really see Elon mocking religion. In fact, you see actually quite the opposite. As much as you might not like him, he actually says pretty positive things about Christianity. He says pretty positive things about pretty much all religions. I haven't really seen him talk down on a religion. You might have something different that you can find, but I don't. But I would often be like, he is the one. He's that Antichrist for sure. Like, he's the one everybody's going to, like, oh, you're the one, you can. And, he's a billionaire, so he doesn't have to exactly follow the laws. And that was my connection. But now I'm starting to rethink this one. I have to say, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, Trump's the Antichrist. I don't think you can really, make that, you can, but I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I hope not. I hope I don't have 300 videos supporting the Antichrist. I hope that's not what's happening to me. I would be very disappointed if I found out that's what was happening. I know somebody's telling me about Trump's 10 Commandments on Amazon. I know. Somebody told me yesterday. I know. Doesn't help the case. I understand. See, but somebody's thinking the Antichrist is going to be beautiful. No. The Antichrist is just going to be needed. It's just they're going to feel like they're needed. That's what it's going to be. They're going to feel like they're needed in life, or not that they're going to feel. We're going to feel like we need them. That's why I always lean towards, Elon Musk. Because eventually, with all the things he's inventing, people are like, oh, we need these electric cars, and we need these robots, and we need these brain implants, and we need you to save free speech. Like, how many people have said that? He's going to save free speech. So I always lean towards him. But now it's like, I don't know, man. Who knows? Don't ignore the signs, coach. Yeah, I know. I'm not. That's why I was willing to talk about this today. I didn't exactly want to. Listen, I talk about being hoodwinked, and I make it funny, but it's not fun. I make it so you can laugh, but I'm not laughing when I'm talking about getting hoodwinked by all these different people. It's ridiculous. It's out of control. There's too many. It's too many to count now. And now the guy I supported, you know how many people have been like, do you know how many people were like, I was on the fence about him, and because of you, I'm going to vote for him? You know how many people have said, sent me those emails? Do you know how many? Hundreds. Like 1,000. And he's the Antichrist. Oh, God. Oh, no. And then there's that whole theory. Have you ever heard the theory about him being the last president? You ever heard that? Oh, man, I'll try and find that clip one day. But there's a guy who has this theory, and he's like, oh, he's going to be the last president. And then Bannon's talking about him running for a third term. And then the Pope that's installed right now is supposed to be the last Pope. I mean, like that person just said in the chat, don't ignore the signs. I'm not. Believe you me. Now, let's get into Tucker talking about what he believes the religion of the government is.
That may be the whole point. So the United States government, as distinct from the people of the United States, who are still majority Christian, the United States government has been pretty aggressively anti-Christian for a very long time. Donald Trump is not the first president to give the finger to Jesus, hardly. But he is the first president to do it in public. And this has been going on long enough, and it's reaching a kind of boiling point right now that we can begin to see the outlines of what the actual religion of the United States government is, certainly of this administration. Because there always is one. There's no secular government, never has been one, never will be one. A truly secular government would have no purpose. Its leaders would have no destiny. There would be no real reason to continue on. It certainly wouldn't have any evangelical zeal. And our government does have evangelical zeal. We're spreading democracy and free market principles around the world, freedom or whatever. So every government is motivated by religious impulse, whether the government admits it or not. And ours certainly is. So what is the civic religion of the United States? What's the religion of the U.S. government? What's the religion, honestly, of Donald Trump? It's not Christianity, clearly. It's Israelism. It's the defense of Israel. Now, how do you know that? Well, because the United States has set up as its chief foreign policy in the defense of Israel. That's one clue. There's that. But it's much.
We got one. We got one, guys. That's amazing. Oh, man. Always at the most inappropriate times, Tucker. Always at the most inappropriate times. That's why we love it. That's why we love the Tucker laugh.
Much deeper than that. Who are the main enemies, as identified by the President of the United States, of his government domestically? Who are his enemies? Who does he dislike? Who does he attack? Who does he go out of his way to undermine? Well, it's people who doubt Israel. People who stand in the way of the aims of the secular government of Israel. And that would include Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, and the Pope. Now, how do you know that's what it is? Well, because that's the only thing they have in common. The Pope, the American Pope, first American Pope, Pope Leo, is in American political terms a liberal. He is, by the way, for mass migration. Shamefully so, I would say, as a non-Catholic. But, while not anti-Israel, he's not a Zionist because Catholicism doesn't recognize Zionism as part of its catechism. There are plenty of Catholics who love Israel, and there are some who don't love Israel, maybe some who hate Israel, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the core tenets of Catholicism. And unlike so many other newer versions of Christianity, Catholicism has been around for thousands of years and has a very clearly articulated catechism. You know what Catholics believe or what the church believes and what it tells its members, its parishioners, its Catholics, communicants to believe. It's all written down. And unwavering support for the state of Israel is just not on the list at all. At best, it's a faith that's agnostic toward the political fortunes of the Netanyahu government. And that's not going to change because, again, there's a structure and there is a list of beliefs, a creed written down. So it's pretty hard to force a church like that to change its views because those views are effectively set in stone and have been for a very long time. So the president's problem with Pope Leo probably has nothing to do with Pope Leo's views on crime, which may be annoying, by the way. His views on mass migration are very hard to defend and very destructive, but that's not really the problem here. The problem is that Pope Leo criticized this war with Iran, which was waged in partnership with Israel on behalf of Israel at the instigation of Israel. And he criticized that. That's his problem. So did Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey made the mistake of criticizing Israel's lobby in the United States, AIPAC.
Man. Well, that's the religion that Tucker believes is at the root of things, and it's hard to argue. I think I told you guys yesterday when I saw the whole, people would show me like, oh, look, he's pulling out a chair for Bibi, or he's like tucking Bibi's chair in, like they're, out at the prom or something like that. And I'd be like, that's nothing. Come on. I would fight against that all the time. It's too hard to fight against now because he's right. Everybody he's mentioning, they didn't really go after him. They were going after something else. And for some reason, the president is the Gary of Israel. Philadelphia. Sorry. Philadelphia. For some reason, he acts like the Gary. The way Gary acts for Turning Point, he acts for Philadelphia. And that is a very sad realization that I'm having right now, and a very disturbing analogy. My goodness. I wish I didn't just say that. It's true. That's terrible. He only went after them because of what they had to say about that place, Philadelphia. They didn't really go at him. They were just going at what he was doing for that. You know? I don't know, man. He's Gary. Oh, man. Yeah. Too bad. Anyways, we were hoodwinked. Yes, we were. Anyways, guys, let's get into these coffees. Let's get into these coffees now. There's a whole bunch of coffee that I got to show you guys. Somebody was asking, why are you all over the place today? Hey, buddy, I have a 2-day-old. What, 3, 4? Gee, I don't even know. Born on the 11th, 5 days. I have a 5-day-old. Baby's not even a week old, okay? Grow up. You ever been around a baby before? You ever slept in the same room as a baby that's fresh and new? You have no idea what you're talking about. I get to sleep for 4.5 hours. The wife gets to sleep even less. Our in-laws are here. And we volunteered that. Our in-laws, my in-laws are here as a support team. Are you kidding me? Crazy person. Some people just don't get it. You know? Buddy, when you're around, when you have a kid, oh my gosh, it's rough. It's rough. But I keep it going. I make sure to keep it going for you guys. Make sure. But yeah, it's hard. It's very, very hard. Very, 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 very hard. But we push through regardless. I want to do the members first, just because they're part of the Mint Daddy crew. We weren't able to do a members this week, so I do want to get to the members. Let's see here. Dorothy says, any thoughts on Blake? I don't even know how to say his name. Bednar's sudden exit from X and the Charlie Kirk investigation. So this is his second exit. Okay. I actually was waiting for him and Jesse to go live. I was notified it was happening just like within, I think I saw it was going to happen in like half an hour. I was getting ready. I was going to watch it. And then all of a sudden I saw somebody post something about him just backing out last second and then making this another account, and being like, my investigation for the Charlie Kirk investigation is over. It's done. It's messing up my family business, his father, mother, etc. There's like an intervention. So I screenshotted it. I hope Jesse doesn't mind me saying this. I screenshotted it and I said, Jesse, is this true? Did he actually do this? He actually like drop out? And, I won't go into our whole conversation, but Jesse was like, yeah. Like last minute, he just said, something came up, and I was like, and there's some kind of, and I think it's in the post, says there's some kind of intervention happening. And I was thinking, substances, because that's an intervention. But no, there was an intervention apparently for him doing this investigation. And I guess around town, it's making people ask questions and it's messing up his dad's business or something like that. So that's why he was stepping away. And then all of a sudden I see him going live with somebody else, Black Line Brief and John Bray and someone else. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your name. There's somebody else as well. And I was like, what? So he's supposed to go live with Jesse. He backs out, says, oh, sorry, I'm done. And then all of a sudden, like the next day, he's going live with somebody else talking about the investigation. I was like, and then recently I just saw a post where he's like, I can't, this has to be said. And he starts talking about how Candace Owens is controlled opposition in terms of the investigation. I'm like, what is this? So I don't know. Like, what are my thoughts on it? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on with this guy. I have no clue what's going on with this guy. I don't get it. Don't know why he's like that. I don't know. But I doubt it's going to be him stopping. I doubt it. I mean, even right now, like, let's see if he posted anything. Because it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, didn't this guy just say, oh yeah, Ashley St. Clair says that Benny Johnson's gay, by the way. That's apparently there's going to be some stuff coming down the pipe about Benny Johnson being gay. I find that very interesting and funny. Yeah, no, the last thing he posted was about Candace. And then before that, he just said, my work in the Charlie Kirk investigation is over and my main account will be deactivated for good. It has not been. Just saying. Thank you for everyone who supported me and my efforts in seeking the truth. For seeking truth and justice, my family essentially did an intervention on me about 30 minutes ago and gave me an ultimatum. They are tired of the chatter around my hometown and feel embarrassed at the attention. I'll still be watching from the shadows, but I'm calling it quits. So there's that. As for the main account, it is not gone. I know that for a fact because I saw it and I was like, oh, there's still this account here. I was like, I wonder when that's going away. So maybe it has already. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but deleted space crash out today. See what I mean? Like, again, like this is from like a month ago. Somebody's talking about a crash out here. Travis, he's talking about a crash out. You know, bad faith accounts. Like, it's weird. Very weird. So I guess the main account is gone. I guess it's gone. I guess it's actually gone. And now there's this other account that has like 800 followers. And like, that's what he's going to be watching everybody from the shadows about. But yet still has something to say about Candace Owens. It's very weird. So the thing he had to say about Candace Owens is, okay, I can't let this go unmentioned. When the Charlie Kirk case goes unsolved, look no further than this individual on video when asking why. She and her network of chained echo chamber slaves are running one of the most masterful controlled opposition campaigns in the history of our nation. Don't believe me? Sit back and watch this slow narrative pivot manifests into new automatic rifle that folds, blah, 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 blah. So basically he just doesn't like where Candace is going. And this is like the same thing that he's always had an issue with. He always doesn't like what Candace is talking about. He always feels like, why isn't Candace talking about the things that I think Candace should be talking about? And I don't know. Someone said drugs. I have no idea. That's what I thought when I heard intervention. But then no, it was about the investigation. So I don't know. The whole thing's weird. The whole thing's very weird. Someone just said, who said this? What do you mean, who said this? He said this. You know? Benny Johnson took the seat off his bike. That's a crazy thing to say. I didn't say it, guys. He said it. He hounds Candace to no end. It's really interesting. Really interesting to see. So I don't really know what this guy is going to be doing. And I hope he's all right, because apparently it's real. Like, according to Jesse, he's like, it's real. Like, something's really going on family-wise, and they're really concerned. So, you know, we hope that he's okay. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, I don't think anybody threatened him or anything like that. I think it's genuinely just his family being like, what's going on with you, you know? So hopefully he's able to resolve all that. But that's my thoughts on it. Jamie sends a membership out. Thank you. Lucky Lady 420 receives that membership. Welcome to the crew. Entitled Mint Daddy Dave Chappelle, Black Howard Dean. Yes, thank you. Slinky, member for 2 months. You have to be 55 to remember Dukakis, Baron after all. Baron is, after all, 67, right, Coach? We go reigniting that comment. Love your heart, Coach. It's pure and kind. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And then Blue Lioness, welcome to the crew. And then Julie Spaka. Welcome to the crew as well. Thank you guys very much. All right, let's get to this this coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get over here and see what we can do. Let's go. How do I just go through this all? Is this the way to do it? I think this is a better way to do it. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then I can just go see more. Oh, perfect. Okay. So this is much better than the last time. Okay. Okay. So here we are. We can even make this a little smaller. Oh, I don't even have to make it super big. I have to say, this Buy Me a Coffee site is absolutely amazing. Not an ad. Had no idea it was so good. Thank you for everybody who's supporting via this. Danielle, 3 coffees. Thank you so much. If Candace was fired in 2019, why did they have to sever a contract with her at the end / beginning of this year? I swear I remember her saying because of her contract, because of her content on her show, they insisted it be canceled. Yes, you are correct about that. There was some kind of contract that they still had. And that's the kind of, she didn't really receive a cease and desist, but she received something that was like, oh, like, you know, you're violating your contract when you're talking about Erika the way you are. And nothing came of that. I don't know if she had to pay them. I don't know if they, like, we never saw anything. I thought there was going to be a whole legal battle from that point on because they were just going to be able to say you're violating your contract, but something happened or didn't happen. Real Tea with Krista Marie became you can become a monthly supporter. I know you guys know more about this than I do. You became a monthly supporter. I didn't even know that was a thing. Well, okay. Thank you so much. Nobody should support the effery, neither from the left or the right. He's so lost in his ever-loving mind. I think you mean ever-loving mind. Every loving mind? I know what you mean, though. MFing, that's what you really mean, you know? If we choose a side, we keep the war going. We need to come together. Christ is king indeed. And that is very true. That is the one thing that they don't want. And yeah, I don't know if that can ever happen. It's really hard. Because like 10 people can decide that they're not going to go in for that type of thing anymore. But are, you know, millions of people going to decide not to go in for that anymore? I just don't think so. It's so hard. There's just so many people, you know. That's the beauty of it, is that they can just keep it going no matter what. Because even if you get everybody to say, okay, left and right, that's done, then somebody's going to like stand up in the back and be like, black versus white. And then you'll be like, you know? And then finally you'll settle that. You'll settle racism once and for all. And, you know, okay, no, it's not black versus white. Come on, calm down, everybody. And somebody's going to be like, gay! And then you're going to be like, everybody's going to be like, there's just so many boxes. There's so many things set up to divide people. So it gets difficult, but you gotta start with yourself, you know? What is this? Big Goy Paloi? Coach, I sent an IG to get your P.O. box address so I can knit up something for the baby. Your name's Big Goy Paloi and you knit? I would think when I see a name like this, I think of like a 20-year-old. You're a person who knits? Okay. All right. And yes, if you get oversized things, they put a card in the box and then you take the card to the desk and get the box. But since you are doing it with a business, make sure you put it under your business name and tax write-off. Wow, we got someone who knits and is an accountant over here. Beautiful. Thank you for the advice. Also, look up Shalom Sand Books. He's very much a hated figure by the Philadelphia government. Great stuff and possibly up your alley. Really? Did you say Shalom Sand? Shalom Sand. I feel like I've heard that name before too. Let's see if my voice recognition will recognize this name. Shlomo Sands. Or Sand you wrote. You just wrote Sand. Okay. Historian? Interesting. 79 years old. Okay. It's not your homeland. Interview with Shlomo. Oh, okay. He's one of these guys. All right. I will take a look. Thank you very much for that. The intention of the Philly people is in the book I am on now. Also, please give the babies extra hugs and kisses from all of us. And Crockpot Dump. Wait, and Crockpot Dump and Do will be great for you to help with meals for Mama. Crockpot dumps? I've been doing Uber Eats dumps on Mama. That's what I've been. Mama gets whatever she wants, basically. I actually have to hire a meal service. I think that's what we're going to have to do. That way she doesn't have to worry, because no matter what, even when she's like this, she'll still try and like cook for me. Or she hasn't slept at all and she'll still try to like get herself up and be like, oh, I can make you coffee, or I can make you oatmeal, this, that. And I'm like, no, don't do this. Please sit and please rest, please sleep. She's getting into it now because it's like less than 4 hours of sleep. So she just like sleeps in as much as she can. But, you know, she was like still planning, like, oh, I want to make meals. She's trying to like pre-make meals. She's like 9 months pregnant, like huge, like, oh, I'm going to just make this. And I'm like, just stop. So I'm just going to make sure cleaning and food is just going to be off the list for her for a very long time. You know, she can feed the baby. Believe me, she got a lot to feed the baby right now. So she can just focus on that. That's where I'm at with it. So can't wait till we get back to sleep though. Oh my gosh. How much I appreciate 6 hours of sleep. I was so down on 6 hours of sleep just a few weeks ago. I was like, oh, 6 hours, that's nothing. Yesterday I got 4 hours and 10 minutes of sleep. I was like, oh my God, where is my 6 hours of sleep? I need the 6 back. This is crazy. Big Daddy Waller, I turned your get back to work. I turned your get back to work, Big Daddy Waller, into my ringtone. It went off during my work meeting today, and the side eyes and snickers made my day. That is so funny. Wow. You made it into a ringtone. How do you even do that nowadays? Yeah, I don't even know how ringtones work anymore. That used to be a big thing back in the day. Someone, just someone, nice and anonymous here. Every day, no matter what I've got going on, it's you and me, kid. I watch, I laugh, I ponder, I wonder what fleet will use next. That is very, very nice. Very, very nice of you. You know? Let's go. K Keys. Look forward to your show every day. You make me smile. Quick question. Why does Gary look about and dislike Candace so much? Oh, sorry. Why does Gary talk about and dislike Candace so much? She never talks about him. He seems obsessed with her and Baron. It's creepy. Well, I mean, K Keys, this is why I can't say that there's any incentive for him to do anything that he does. I can only point at him like he's a YouTuber like all of us. And he just kind of does what, you know, YouTubers do, and they talk about the thing that they're passionate about. I don't really understand. I mean, in another world, aside from Gary, I would say if I saw someone who was doing this to someone, I would think that there was some kind of financial benefit that they were receiving. I might even think that they have some kind of adjacent affiliation with federal agencies. I might even think that possibly they are receiving some kind of dark money. I'm not saying this about Gary. Gary's just a kind Kandahar giant. He's just a child, really. And so I'm not saying that about him, but I'm just saying in situations that are, you know, not him and similar to, that's what I would think. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like I said at the beginning, when I first started talking about Gary, he could just do ballistic videos. He could do ballistic videos. There's many other things that happen in the world, and he could just focus on that. But the complete focus is shifted into Candace and disliking her. I like her, so I talk about Candace a lot. But even me, I try to bring you guys stuff that's outside of the Charlie Kirk investigation. And I'm going to be doing that more. And it's going to get to the point where the show's kind of half and half. And, you know, I think I'm comfortable there. But even me, who really likes her, I really like what she's doing. I think what she's doing is really important. Even I'm like, well, I got to make sure to talk about other stuff. He doesn't. It's just this. It's very weird. It's like, how is there not some kind of incentive happening? Because it's definitely not money from YouTube, because his audience hasn't taken off because of it. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm trying to be charitable as I'm saying all this, but yeah, I don't get it. I'm with you. Doesn't make much sense. Bought 2 coffees, says nothing. Someone. Thank you so much, someone. Appreciate you. Christine. Is that Christine? Is that a Christine? Christine Runda. You're amazing and funny. We need more like you in this industry. The industry of what? YouTube? YouTube? Do you? I guess there's not many doing like the funny news stuff. I guess not. I can't, guys. I want to go on tour so bad. I want to do a tour so bad. You have no idea. No idea. Real Tea with Krista Marie just received a membership from Moira. Look at that. Make friends in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yasina. Hi, coach. Easy search. Dave Chappelle is Howard Dean. Yeah, that was the part I was missing. I'm literally writing I'm writing BWAY. I'm writing all sorts of nonsense. Even Fleet sent me a message. Fleet's like, you just search this and you'll find it right away. Yeah, so thank you guys for hitting me up so much about that. Lisa Powers, that's a good name. Powers, that is a solid name. Coming soon. Candace, Coach, Baron, and Ian, and Lionel live tour. That was me about Erika saying the Lord, and I forgot to put my name in it. Yeah. I do remember you saying that. And Candace touched on that because it's true. The Lord, my Lord, right? It's a very odd thing. I think I brought it up when you said this, but a lot of celebrities do that as well. And it's always like, who are you talking about? Right? Who are you talking about? You know, my God is good. That's what they'll say. They'll say stuff like that. And it's like, what religion are you talking? Are you talking about any specific? Like, I don't even care if it's a different one from mine. Can you just tell me which one so I understand what you're saying more? But yeah, a live tour with all of us, that would be really cool. That'd be really cool. Now, for me, I'm used to being on stage. You know, when you bomb on stage, you kind of just get used to it after you get real relaxed. Candace is very used to being on stage. I don't know if Baron and Ian and Lionel are used to being on stage. I mean, I guess you when you're doing law, you're in front of people, and Ian seems like he can just handle any situation. So I think it would be a good thing. Sit down like a panel, everybody talking. That would be interesting. It'd be very interesting. A live tour like that, you know? I'd for sure be doing comedy. I'd open the show. I'd definitely be the one warming up the show. 100%. 100%. Yasina. You said it again? What happened here? Is it repeating them? Or unless you guys sent it twice. Easy search, Black Howard Dean. Lisa Powers coming soon, live tour. What? Did you send it twice? Christine Lisi. Praying for you, coach. Congratulations on your growing family. Thank you so much. Hope you're getting some sleep. I am not. Love your show. I'll follow you on any format. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. No, not getting much sleep. Because again, you know, like she's recovering from a C-section. So like if I hear the baby, I get up and get the baby, right? Because it's hard enough for her to have to sit up from laying down. So usually what men get to do is just sleep, you know? Usually they just get to sleep. I don't get to do that this time because I want her to be okay. And it's hard. It's hard what they go through. It really, really is. Really, really hard. Especially with a C-section. Really tough. Really tough. So, you know, she did that voluntarily so I could have a son. And I think that's just like incredible. Not getting choked up on here. Musical Cookies 5009. Congrats, Coach and Mrs. Coach. Love on those beautiful babies. Soak up every moment you can. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for making my mornings more awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I am soaking up a lot. I always do this. I think I will always do this no matter how many kids we have. But for my first kid, I have video footage in this studio of holding the baby when they're like super small, like not saying anything, and I'll like put it to the mic and be like, hey, say something, and they're just like ah. And I have that all the way up to now, to where she literally jumps in the chair and she grabs the microphone and she grabs the headphones and she's like hello, 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 hello. It's nuts. It's such a crazy thing to watch. And I started doing the same thing with the baby. So I had him up to the microphone. I was like, hey, say something there, it's so good. It's so good. It's the best. It's the best thing, hands down. But thank you so much. Appreciate you. Shabbat shalom. My Hebrews and Shebrews, Erika Kirk's father should have pulled. Oh my God, jeez, come on, jeez. Who said this? Who said this? Flip Flad, you gotta relax. Come on, you can't be saying that. You can't be saying that, Flip Flad. Jeez-a-loo. Anyway, let's jump up on here. Summer Breeze. That was me who commented on the alleged lawsuit that is in the works and possibly building a case. Yes, now I remember. I forget now, mom brain, but mom brain is a real thing. I didn't believe my wife at first round of pregnancy, but it's a real thing. I've heard Candace talk about it. I've heard my wife talk about it. It's a legit thing. But there is something that Candace Owens said at the very end of her show yesterday that confirmed my suspicion. She basically went through Erika Kirk's lies, and they are trying to create that environment. Maybe, perhaps, allegedly. Also, love your show and your personality. You make me LOL and giggle all morning long. Congrats to you and Mama on the new bae. Thank you so much. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that she said that at the end of her show. I'll have to look at that. But yeah, it seems like that. It definitely seems like that they're trying to make something like that happen. I don't know why they would. I guess that's the only option they have. The other option would be just being truthful and being like, we need a new CEO, guys. Here he is. Even that kid, even the kid that I don't like, that Braylon Hollyhand guy, make him the new voice. He's a conservative. He's tall. He has a very distinct face like Charlie did. He's willing to debate people. He already does the tour thing in front of schools and stuff. Just approach him and be like, hey, you want to work with Turning Point? And just have him be the face from now on. He's the same age as Charlie when Charlie started. Let the kid just do it. Like, I don't like the kid myself, but why not? Why not have him do it? Because Erika's not going to do it. Andrew can't do it. They can't do these type of things. So why not just have somebody else who's capable? I don't get it. Ed Franks, Mint Daddy crew member. There's nothing like the first time you slay a man and your daddy drapes vital life. Jeez. Good God. Listen, vital life fluids. Listen, just say blood next time, okay? Because that sounds crazy, okay? Okay, Franks, just next time, just say blood. It's completely fine, okay? Well, we're going to give you a pass, sir. You have a complete pass. You don't have, your codes are not coding, my friend. Those codes are wild. You just go ahead and say what you got to say next time, okay? You have my full support. Allegedly, according to Victor Marx. Jeez, that made me laugh. Oh my God. That is so funny. This guy said vital life fluids. Buddy, what are you saying right now? I wonder what Lord Erika is constantly referring to. I think that's why she uses it so much, because it's not the same one the rest of us have. I think that's why she uses it and almost never says Jesus Christ. Christ is king indeed. And I think you're correct. Lisa, Miss Powers, I think you're correct. I think there is something like that going on. Again, like I said before, you see a lot of people in Hollywood do the same thing. A lot of politicians do the same thing. And they should be forced to say it. And I notice in Hollywood, when they do actually say Jesus, it either gets censored or they get blackballed, or you don't see them popping up in films as much. You know, like, I haven't seen Chris Pratt pop up in a lot of things. And, you know, the last award show I think he was at, he was like talking about Jesus, and he was talking about how people need to come to Jesus. And that crowd didn't like that. That Hollywood award crowd, they didn't like that. And now you're not seeing him pop up as much. He's good to go. He's in great shape, looks great jawline on the guy, looks fantastic. But you don't see him pop up too much. Why is that? It's because he made his Lord known. He said it out loud. Yeah, Erika doesn't do that. You'll find a lot of these turning point faith types don't do that, right? And again, I don't know who it is, but like you said, maybe it's just not the same one we're all thinking. Oh no, what just happened? Oh my God. Are you for real? Oh no. Oh no. Let me go here. Let me see. Okay, I gotta go all the way down here. Summer breeze. There we go. Oh man, that was easier than I thought. Okay, congratulations to you and your wife for the best gift in the world. You are going to need many coffees. You know what the crazy thing is? I don't even drink coffee anymore. I probably should. It would probably help a lot. I stopped drinking coffee months ago because I felt terrible afterwards, but I think I got to start drinking coffee again. Legendary Bree, JD was giving heavy big brother protecting sister energy. Leave her alone. Our mom says she's beautiful and she's amazing. You guys are just talking a bunch of ish. How dare you? You're right. You're right too. Stephen Barton. Stephen, the Twitter edible glitter. LOL. That is some name. I'm convinced real reason EK didn't speak is because they forgot all the glitter and sparkles. Oh man, and the pyrotechnics. So she threw a tantrum and left before her brother slash lover JD spoke. Come on, pick one. Come on, don't do that to her. I'm gonna say brother, her brother. Okay. LOL. Also, the username hats cover lobotomy stitches are something when I was playing baseball, someone said to the ump after our coach got thrown out. Even the ump started laughing at it. Wow, that's actually really funny. That's really funny. I've never heard that, and you had somebody say that back in the day. That's wild. And that's a very good insult. It's a very solid insult. Yeah, maybe it was the fact that there was no sparkles. There was no pyrotechnics. And she was like, what is this? And they were like, we can't do pyrotechnics every time. And she was like, what the are you talking about? And she's just putting on sparkles. She's like, are you guys out of your minds? She's like, I'm leaving. She's like, JD, how about that, JD? Bye. She just walks away. JD's just like, so Andrew, how about you and I just get on stage and we'll have a great conversation, huh? Andrew was like, oh, come on, again, I get this. I'm not dressed. Come on, you see how I'm dressed. Don't make me go out there, man. Come on, you made me do the steel neck thing. Come on, guys, please. Get out there, Andrew. Get back to work, Andrew. Get back to work. Ben Shapiro just there, just underneath everybody. So low, nobody even noticed he was there. Erika trips over him as she's trying to leave. You know what I realized? I gotta, I know we don't want to watch Ben Shapiro, but I do gotta stay updated on Ben Shapiro, Officer Tatum, and Matt Walsh. I realized that this morning. I was like, why haven't I been looking into those fun guys, all friends of the show? My dogs have more brain cells than Gary. Just saying. Thanks for the laughs. Wow. That was you just very much just spoke your mind there. Maurice, thank you. Thank you, Maurice. Appreciate you. Mac K FC. Keep being real, raw, and uncut. Thank you very much. Valerie, cheers. Thank you very much, Valerie. Rita bought a coffee. Love your humor while telling us the truth. Congratulations to you and your wife on the new baby. The baby is still new. So new. But he can lift his head already. He has amazing head control. He's like, and then he just goes like this. And he just throws himself over. But he's improving. Anyway, I love your show. One of the, what are those hearts? One of the only shows that I actually watch every minute of. All the best. Well, thank you so much. The Pink Rock 93. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. What is this? Vitalologist? Vitalologist? Love ya, coach. Watching every day. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, guys. Oh God, it happened again. Why did that happen again, guys? Let's go all the way to the bottom. There we go. Lisa Burden. You did. You look like a black Ninja Turtle. Love you, coach. So thankful for this method to bless you. Since I can't pay from YouTube, I live in Mexico, but my phone is American. Congrats on the new, congrats on the B-Day and new baby. Thank you so much. Oh, I didn't realize that. So if you're in another place, yeah, true. That makes sense. Unless you had like a VPN, it would stop you. And even then it might not let you. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm very glad we found this. Very glad that the person who suggested this is, thank you for suggesting I read these. Really, really appreciate that. So yeah, we're gonna be doing more of that for sure. Oh, more popped in. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. More people have popped in, ladies and gentlemen. Redeemed Curls. Coach, longtime viewer, first-time donor, your channel is such a bright light. Thank you. My husband and I can relate to you and your wife's life. We met on Tinder. He's 8 years older. That is like me and my wife. 8 years older than me, and he's my best friend. We also have a beautiful swirly child. Does that say swirly? Swirly child, and love Jesus. You're incredible, worthy of love and respect. Believe in yourself in the way we all here do. Much love and blessing to your beautiful family. Christ is King indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you. I've been told that before too. To believe in myself like other people do. I'm not demonetized. I just have to wait until I switched from, somebody was asking if you're demonetized. I'm not demonetized. I just switched from, shoot, that video went out. I didn't mean for that video to go out. Dang. I just switched from business, Google AdSense, I switched from individual to business. So once you do that, you have to be processed again. So I've passed all the processes and they're just now waiting for me to do one thing, and it's supposed to take 24 to 48 hours. And sometimes it takes 2 to 3 weeks. So F me. But you know, that's just the way it is. Yeah, that is very much like me and my wife. We did meet on Tinder, and I am 8 years older. I am 8 years older than my wife. Wow. That's amazing. You are a long-time viewer. You are a very long-time viewer if you knew that. That's amazing. Thank you. That's wild. Yeah, that's exactly how we met. We met on Tinder. Crazy enough. I was only swiping on blonde women, and I swiped on her, and that was it. Went out with her and never looked back. Never even considered looking back. So, very similar. What does it say? Goopa grounded? Erika should have gone full Drewski and played it off. Then she would be on top. Oh, of course. Like reached out to Drewski and did another sketch with him where it was like her and him dressed as her and they're good friends and they're like going through the city. Oh, it would have been, oh my gosh. Nobody would not be able to applaud. Everybody would have applauded that. It would have been so cool. But it's narcissism that causes you not to be able to laugh at yourself. Imagine not being offended by Drewski and going even harder for Drewski. She would win the youth. That's true too. But we all know she won't because she's self-absorbed, narcissistic, psychopathic, allegedly, or whatever. Yeah, that would be solid. That would be a really smart thing to do. And you're right about that. She would win the youth with that. The youth would be on board right away. They would be like, wow, check this lady out. He was talking about her. Here she is. She's wearing the pantsuit. The pyrotechnics are going crazy. You know, even incorporate like Andrew Colvette or people from Turning Point in there. Oh, man, it would have been great. It would have been really great. But yeah, there's no way they're doing that. There's no way. They're just not that in tune with things. I'm way behind back at the Baron part and dying. The 33 Baron, the chat. Check the chat. Baron, okay. Thanks for the plug, man. Oh, that's so funny. That was so funny. Miss Chris Viz, this is awesome. So much better than super chats. Wow. I had to cut my prayer short the other day because my prayer short the other day because it limits the characters. Thanks for adding this option. Blessing to you and your family. Yeah, I'm just sorry I didn't tell you guys about it sooner. I mean, I didn't think about what was better. And for me and for you guys, this is actually better. Like, it's actually way better. Buy a little something for your new bub. I really do have to. I know it's a super new baby, but we want to buy some kind of toy, some kind of thing. He won't appreciate any of it. He'll just be like, He only appreciates milk right now, but still, I can't wait until he smiles at one of us. I can't wait. It's the craziest thing. I remember that happening. I think my wife cried the first time our first kid smiled at her. I think she started crying. I was just like, wow, look at that. I mean, I can remember the first laugh, oh man, it's so good. Chris, congratulations, coach. God bless your family. Anyone else think Candace is running into Cabot? Sounded like the Daily Wire is still stalking her. I thought it was an odd coincidence. Wow, I never even considered that. That is a very good observation. Because then he also had the energy, like he wanted some kind of encounter, like he wanted some kind of confrontation. And then on top of that, Candace even mentions that while he's talking to her, he's getting on his phone and he's messaging someone. Wow, that's interesting. Could you imagine? Not even interesting. That's terrifying. That's straight up terrifying, especially for a lady to deal with. That's terrifying. I wonder. Good observation. That could be exactly what was happening there. They made sure that he ran into her. Big Goy Ploy had this name for 15 years. Really? For over 15 years? Wow, that means you're an OG. You've been saying Big Goy Ploy for 15 years? You've been talking about Big Goy for 15 years? That's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tinfoil alumni right here. It took the Einstein files, and finally my name made sense to people. Wow. So sorry for my typos. Was trying to send, thinking it was almost over. Also, I am only 41 in May. Wow, that means you've been, wow, good for you. I have been knitting on and off since I was 8 years old. All grandmas start out as kids. That's true. That's true. Grandpas too, right? They all start out as kids. That's so funny. And now people finally understand your name. That's so funny. Wow, 15 years. So what are we talking? Minus 10, 31, minus 5. What is that, 26? Wow. OG. Oh, man, I bet you knew about the dancing Israelis way before everybody made it popular, huh? I bet you knew all about them. Real Tea with Christina Marie. I forgot to say in the previous coffee, congratulations to you and Mrs. Coach on the baby. Thank you. And thank you for making me laugh every day, even when we disagree and when I'm having a bad day. You make me laugh anyway. She's a lucky lady. That's a gift, sir. I'm not crying. You're crying. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that, especially the disagreeing part, because that's how it's supposed to be. You know, some people feel like you're supposed to agree with the person you watch on anything. And I always say back, I've said back in comment sections, it's like, you don't even agree with your mom and your dad on everything. You don't even agree with your husband on everything. Like, why would you agree with me on everything? It's a weird space you get put into sometimes, or that we put people into, because I do it too with people that you watch. Very weird. You don't agree with anybody 100% of the time. There's no chance. What does this say? Kenneth Tesla? Charlie Kirk died so Candace could live. I feel like you said this before. I think I saw you say this before. And yeah, I think you're 100% right. Charlie died so Candace could live. It was supposed to be you. Charlie knew their plan and he knew how to piss them off. He pushed them to keep them from hurting anyone else. Do you think he had the thought that he was going to martyr himself? He knew what he was doing. He knew the threat. They always silence the important voices. We must never forget those they've silenced. Free the voices. Free their voices. Speak up. Very well said. Yeah, that makes sense. It was supposed to be you. Like, that's what I've talked about before so many times. Like, where did Andrew get that information for him to say that? And it was so soon because Candace called right away and Andrew was still crying. They were both crying. They cried on the phone together. He said it was supposed to be you. Where could he have got that information? I've thought about it and I'm like, okay, maybe admin, maybe this, maybe that, maybe Philadelphia, maybe Charlie. Maybe Charlie's where he got that information from. Huh. Never thought of that. Again, like I said, like I was saying before in this episode, I was like, there was something going on. She was supposed to be the centerpiece. I think exactly when he says it's supposed to be, I think she was the one that was supposed to pass away. And Charlie was supposed to take the torch and become the president and have that massive push from everyone that loved Candace. I think that's what was supposed to happen. Because what's happening now doesn't make a lick of sense. It doesn't even make a little bit of sense. And maybe because he had all of those text messages with her and he thought she was the missing piece and this and that. Maybe he thought, I actually have to keep her safe. And the only way to keep her safe is to remove her, slowly allow what these people are doing. I'm not going to compare him to Jesus, but like, you know, maybe you're around the people and you know they're shady. Like I said, he knew about all these people who were adjacent to all this weirdness. He knew about this. So maybe he understood these people are shady. This is what they're going to do. And when she leaves Turning Point, she will be safe. Maybe that's the mindset he had. Very possible. Very possible. Anyway, let's keep going here. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking to think about. He was like, I have to. He's like, I understand how important this person is, and I can't let them stay here with me. I know that harm is going to come to me already because I've known this since I was young or younger. I've known this for a long time. I have to make sure that she gets away from this and then does that. Because if you notice, has her leave Turning Point, but Candace is like, we didn't have contact, which means that he had her out of Turning Point and then is not telling these people that he's still talking to her all the time. And the friendship never died. And it was supposed to be her. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Anyway, Lisa Powers, the author of that book, is Jason Morningstar. Isn't that another name for Lucifer? Yes. Yes, it is. That's exactly what that is. The Morning Star, the light bringer. Danielle, if Candace was fired. Okay, so now we're back at the beginning. Okay, that's it. That's it. Perfect. Perfect, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for doing this with me. Is there another one? There is another one. Oh, Mike Riley. You can't forget about Mike. Can't forget about Mike. Hold on. Mike Riley, UFC fighter. Do you think Charlie was Erika? Do you think Charlie was Erika? Or do you think Charlie was Erika or Donnie's sacrifice to the next level? Because it sure ain't working out for that lady. And he gets a damn beachfront skyscraper. People don't know what he means. He means out in the Middle East. Big old skyscraper, you know. P.S. You should check out Lizzie Griffin's vids about Ye recently. Think it's your stilo. Let me see here. What did you say this person's name was? Lizzie Griffin? Griffins? Let me see. Yeah, Lizzie Griffins. I've never heard of this person before. Lizzie Griffins. I don't see. Oh, is this a dude? Is this a dude? I thought it's for sure going to be. Oh, was he on tinfoil hat? He knows Sam Tripoli. I should message Sam. Is he? Yay. Let me see what pops up. Oh, cool. Okay, I am going to check that out. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And hope you are enjoying every second with your family right now and y'all are getting some rest. I can't wait to meet my son next month. We're blessed, brother. You are very blessed, brother, man. Yeah, good luck and prayers to you. Prayers that baby, the prayer that I say every day while my wife is pregnant, I pray that this baby is born with no complications, no sicknesses, no ailments, that the baby has all their fingers and toes, that they are just growing exactly the way that you intended, God, that they are forming exactly the way that you have intended, and that they are brought into this world with just no complications, and that my wife has a very speedy recovery. And I'll say that your wife has a very speedy recovery. That is my prayer to you. And yeah. Hope it all goes perfectly, exactly the way it's supposed to. Man, next month, huh? Next month. I think Zach Costello's having a kid next month as well. Pretty sure Zach Costello's having a kid soon. Pretty soon. Yeah, I think he's a month or so behind us. So I think May sometime. Pretty cool. Let's check this out. Akash gets bought you a coffee. Imagine if Erika Kirk made a response video to Drewski. Someone's been making a video of me, stares into the camera, a sparkler goes off in the background. They really missed their shot. Sent you a coffee before with congrats for the new baby. Love to you and your family. Love you, coach. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, that would be amazing. It would be amazing if they did something like that, and it would get the same amount of views. It'd be crazy. Of course, you think it would have got? She made a response video. It would have got 100 million views the same way his did, and then they could come together. It would have been amazing. Congrats on the new addition to your family. Love your authenticity every day, along with the humor while breaking down the day's events. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. I think one more person, I just saw it on my phone. Somebody else just, yeah, there it is. Oh, and Big Goy. Big Goy. Hold on, but before we get to Big Goy here, we have, what is this name? Mova of the Dragons. Why couldn't I didn't even see that it was different words. Okay, whatever. Mova of the Dragons. I'm 8 years older than my husband. We didn't meet on Tinder, but same age gap. Congrats to you both on the baby. Mama did great, and I wish her a speedy recovery. My ovaries have been screaming daily since last year, and long story short, we're now trying. God willing, we'll welcome our 5th in 2027. That is amazing. God bless the Mint crew. Crisis King indeed. That is amazing to hear. And I hope that happens for you guys. That is beautiful. 8 years older. Do you ever have? My wife's 8 years younger. One day I looked at her and I said a joke that was from Seinfeld, and I could tell she didn't get it. And I was like, "Have you ever seen Seinfeld?" And she's like, "No." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, no, I've never seen Seinfeld." And then we had to watch Seinfeld. Because I was like, "How do you not know about Seinfeld?" I'm like, "Have you watched Friends?" She's like, "Not really." I'm like, "Have you watched The Simpsons?" She's like, "Not that much." I'm like, "Oh my God, what's going on? Am I 40 years older than you?" It was nuts. So we had to go through a whole bunch of shows. Big Goy. Coach, I am from Long Island, New York. I was in 11th grade during 9/11. It was heartbreaking when you realize what actually happened. I had to comfort a friend who saw her father try to escape. At the time, it was believed that you would have a heart attack before you landed. I will absolutely never forget that. It was an old tube video in the corner of my class. Me too. Private school, not fancy, but I was raised to question everything. It's funny how my boomer parents are less questioning, but my mama forgot who she raised. So she gets the reversal. Hold on here. Let me move this up. She gets the reversal on not buying the Fed slop now since she's been gobbling it up in her 60s. But yes, absolutely old school tinfoil hat. Since I saw the movie Conspiracy with Mel Gibson, man, I'm so old. Yeah, that's an old movie. That is an old movie. People don't even know about that movie. That's so funny. Wow. Yeah, I had the same thing. I was in grade 10 when it happened. And I was so, because I used to be taking things all the time. I was so inebriated. I was so high that I didn't even know it was a real thing. And I thought the teacher was just showing us a thing from history. And I was like, why are you showing us this? And I was in history class. Funny enough, history was happening. I was in history class. And I'm like, why are you showing us this? I was literally trying to roll a joint, like in secret. I'm like, and I'm just already burnt out because I'm just smoking all day, every day at the time. Just running from all my sadness and stuff. So I'm trying to like roll this thing up so I can go and get high. I smell like weed. I'm like, my eyes are bloodshot. And I'm like, why are you showing us this? And he's like, this is happening. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, this is happening right now. I was like, oh. And he didn't let us leave the class because he thought something else could happen. So he just had us there. He's like, you guys can't leave. He's like, I can't let you guys leave the school. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, school is for sure done. He's like, but you guys aren't leaving this room right now. Because nobody knew what was going to happen. If it was going to be like a crazy, just nobody knew what was going to happen next. It was crazy. But yeah, I just remember being blitzed. I was blitzed. I was like, what's going on? I'm like, what is this video from the 60s? And he was like, no. He wanted to call me an idiot so bad, but he was a nice teacher. He was like, no. He's like, it's happening now. This is now. I'm like, oh, I'm like Cheech and Chong. I'm like, oh, man. Oh, holy. It was crazy. Anyway, it's been 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. I have to go see the in-laws. I can hear them down there. Let's keep going here. What do we got? That's it. Switch it to live chat so I can see everybody. But let's go. I gotta get going. Statue of Liberty is in Colombia, if I remember correctly. The Statue of Liberty? Well, I mean, maybe there's another one. Yeah. Please do better than 3,000 likes. Hit me with those likes, people. Please, 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 on your way out, please hit that like button. It is greatly appreciated. You have no idea. It helps us so, so much. Have to say bye right now. I have to get to the family. And then I have to work on, I don't know, take a nap or something right now. But thank you guys so much. Truly remember, truly appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow. Candace is going live. I'm hoping tomorrow I can get Christine Fikili. She didn't answer. I asked Sam Parker. I don't know if he answered, but we'll see. We'll see who's willing to be on the podcast tomorrow, because I really want to start doing interviews and having some long form conversations, with all the commoners, all us commoners who can't call on the vice president to just do our bidding and whatnot. I want to have conversations with those people. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. And I will see you tomorrow.